Chapter 1232, Such Physical Prowess. Xia Ying's eyelids twitched violently at the sight of the explosive physical strength that Lu Pingan displayed. He immediately gestured an incantation, causing the shattered vapors to steam up and gather like a silver dragon waterfall, aiming to entangle Lu Pingan's black dragon halberd. Buzz! Lu Pingan tightly grasped the black dragon halberd and abruptly twisted it, making the great halberd tremble wildly, sounding like metal clashing, scattering the silver dragon. Subsequently, the chi blood in his body burst forth like a breached river, an angry dragon emerging from the abyss, casting a faint golden treasure light under the silver armor over his strong muscles. Thump thump thump, wind and thunder raged around Lu Pingan, with upsurging chi blood above his head like beacon smoke reaching for the clouds, charging towards Xia Ying and the other two like a horde of thousands of horses and soldiers. Lu Rui, witnessing this scene and wielding her flying sword, appeared somewhat dazed. Where am I, and what am I supposed to do? Big Brother has broken through the attacks of 3 people by himself. How can I plunder their formation? It would be more like Big Brother plundering for me. But Big Brother is also too impressive. Wow, Big Brother is so awesome. Lu Lingyi clapped excitedly as she watched Lu Pingan in action. It's just a bit strange, why doesn't Big Brother use his fists and simply punch directly through them? Is this the power of the 8th level 100 refinements treasure body art? I wonder if Sister Wangshu's talismans can break through Big Brother's physical body. Lu Lingxiao stared at the majestic silhouette of his Big Brother, his pupils reflecting a hint of gold as he pondered. Big Brother is so powerful. Hiss, this must be second-tier top-level body refinement, right? Uncle Pingan's strength. The other disciples from Blue Lake Mountain Lu family and Qingzhou Mountain Lu family were also shocked by the scene, followed by surges of excited delight in their hearts. Knowing that Lu Pingan was there to support them, the business trip was essentially secure. Blue Lake Mountain Lu family, quite a formidable Blue Lake Mountain Lu family, no wonder they dared to establish a merchant association at this time. Xia Ying's expression changed slightly as he saw the overwhelming momentum of Lu Pingan, filled with serious solemnity. He gestured an incantation, and his life-bound spiritual artifact, Han Tan Pearl, flew out, radiating with frosty rosy light. This cold energy combined with the vapors from his hand incantation to spiral and form ice-cold flood dragons charging towards Lu Pingan. Boom boom boom, Lu Pingan's expression remained calm as he swung the black dragon halberd. Each strike was as heavy as a mountain, as though collapsing the void, shattering the ice-cold flood dragons into a sky full of ice and vapor. Seeing the domineering Lu Pingan, godlike and demon-like, bearing down upon him, Xia Ying immediately spoke out, "Daoist Lu, I concede." He had realized that it would not be easy for the 3 of them to defeat Lu Pingan unless they fought with all their might. But as there was no enmity between the 2 families, there was no need to go to war over such a trivial matter. Furthermore, his objective for this trip was to gauge the strength of Blue Lake Mountain. Now, Lu Pingan had proven with his strength that Blue Lake Mountain was as formidable as a false core family. Apart from Lu Changsheng and his wife Lu Miaoge, who were on par with false core immortals. There were also genuine body refining cultivators like Lu Pingan with the combat ability of the Foundation establishment late stage. Not like Lu Wangshu, who relied on talismans and external items as a Foundation establishment cultivator. Moreover, considering Blue Lake Mountain probably had about 10 Foundation establishment individuals, it was not to be looked down upon and was worthy of acknowledgement from the Xia family. Daoist Xia, I am honored. Seeing this, Lu Pingan revealed a gentle smile on his upright martial face. Daoist Lu, I apologize for the offense today. This is a small token of my Xia family's sincerity, please accept it. Xia Ying took out several brocade boxes from his storage bag and handed them to Lu Pingan as he spoke. Daoist Xia is being too courteous. Lu Pingan knew that accepting the gift would mean leaving the past grievances behind, so he reached out to take the gift box. Lu Daoist, if the nobility has any business cooperation needs, feel free to visit the Xia family at Lingxi Lake at any time. This is the token of Lingxi Lake. Your people can come to Lingxi Lake with it. Xia Ying continued, offering a token. Alright, thank you Daoist Xia. Sir the Novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Lu Pingan nodded, accepted the token, and glanced at it. One side bore the word Lingxi, and on the other, the character for Xia. I heard that Lu Daoist has not yet established a household. All the women of the Xia clan are graceful and dignified, virtuous and well-mannered. If Lu Daoist is interested, I can make the arrangements. Xiaoying looked at Lu Pingan in front of him and suddenly spoke. He had seen some basic information about Blue Lake Mountain before. He remembered that this firstborn son of the Lu family was not old, seemingly only in his 60s. At that age, being in the initial stage of foundation establishment is rather ordinary. However, being in the late second rank of body refinement at that age is quite astonishing. One must know, body refinement is even more difficult than chi refinement and takes a lot of time and effort. Lu Pingan before him possesses such body refinement strength, surely due to some great fortune. Perhaps it's possible that in the future, he could break through to false core, leveraging his body refinement prowess. If our two families could arrange a marriage early on, it would be a great boon for my Xia family. I, Lu someone, am currently devoted to cultivation and have not yet considered marriage. Lu Pingan's face twitched slightly, not expecting such a swift change of topic from Xiaoying in front of him. Alright then, if Lu Daoist ever finds the time, feel free to visit the Xia family. Our families should interact more. Xiaoying looked somewhat regretful but remained extremely polite. He hinted that there might be other family forces targeting Blue Lake Mountain Lu family, and Lu Pingan should be cautious. He even subtly suggested that the incident at Red Leaf Valley Market might be related to the Sima family. After chatting for a while, Xiaoying went forward to make polite conversation with Lu Rui, greeted Ling Zixiao, and then took his leave. Blue Lake Mountain Lu family, the eldest son, Lu Pingan. This couple from Blue Lake Mountain Lu family are comparable to true pill masters, and even Lu Changsheng's talisman formation could threaten and even suppress an average true pill master. Now there's also Lu Pingan, with such formidable body refinement combat power, the rise of Blue Lake Mountain is becoming unstoppable. Standing on the spirit boat, Xiaoying was filled with emotion, and the more he thought about it, the more he felt that there was something extraordinary about Blue Lake Mountain. He even suspected that there might be more to Lu Changsheng and Lu Miaoge than meets the eye. After all, Lu Changsheng's daughter, Lu Wangshu, relying on the heritage of the talisman path, wields such astonishing combat power. It might be true, as the early rumors suggested, that Lu Changsheng could threaten and even kill true pill masters with talisman formations. Don't spread word of this matter. At this moment, Xiaoying looked towards his nephew and the visiting noble servant, speaking out. While he wished to maintain friendly ties with Blue Lake Mountain and hoped for cooperation between their families, he also would not mind seeing Blue Lake Mountain clash with the other major powers. Especially with the Sima and Yuan families. As old false core families, they have always acted aggressively and do not wish to see new false core families emerge. Having suffered a setback at Red Leaf Valley Market, they are likely to take ruthless measures this time. If Blue Lake Mountain clashes with these two families and a fierce battle ensues, the Xia family could also benefit from it. I didn't use my full strength just now, and it's likely that Lu Pingan didn't either. Moreover, the lady of the Lu family has not made a move since the year Lu Changsheng seized by Lake Mountain from the Yu family, yet she came to oversee the caravan this time. Definitely not a simple matter. Xiaoying secretly mused, even looking forward to the encounters of the Lu family caravan with the other forces. If both sides lash out and fight fiercely, causing flares of anger, that would be interesting indeed. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know each report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1233. After Xiaoying and others left, Lu Rui stared at her older brother in a daze and said, "Big brother, your strength." She had been stationed at Flower Fruit Mountain in her early years, often seeking advice from Lu Pingan, and the two had sparred together many times, knowing that her brother's strength was extraordinary. But she never imagined that her own brother's strength would be so astonishing. She had previously seen some information about the 6 major false core families and knew that the recent Xiaing had the strength of the 7th or 8th level of foundation establishment. Even if it was just a probe and he didn't go all out, the fact that her brother gained the upper hand in just a moment also showed that her brother had the strength of the late foundation establishment, or even the peak of foundation establishment. Doesn't this mean that big brother's strength has surpassed that of father? That's not right. Wang Shu is that powerful, and father, when using the talisman formation, might actually be able to suppress a false core immortal, just like the rumors say. I made a little breakthrough in body refinement a while ago, Lu Pingan said with a slight smile, not giving too much explanation. After speaking, he added, such battles are unpredictable. It's best to end the fight quickly. Later, if we encounter an ordinary foundation establishment cultivator, Big Brother will clear the way for you. Rui understands. Lu Rui nodded in acknowledgement, knowing she would have had difficulty intervening in the just fight, and might even have held her brother back. Big pot, why didn't you use the mountain-shaking fist? Lu Lingyi, riding on the wind-fire wheels, came to her big brother's side and asked curiously. She had always followed Lu Pingan in practicing boxing and had been looking forward to seeing this set of boxing techniques in real combat. Xiaohe wants to see the boxing technique, next time Big Brother will use it, Lu Pingan said with a smile as he put away the black dragon halberd. Then he came to a luxurious carriage, handing over the token given by the Xia family to Ling Zixiao. Lingxi Xia family, good. As for the matter with the Xia family, I will write back later and have the family handle it. Ling Zixiao took the token, looked at it for a few moments with a light smile, graceful and dignified. Then she turned to her son Lu Lingxiao and instructed, Shower, you two have cultivated the 100 refinements treasure body art. If you have any doubts about body refinement, you can ask your big brother for more advice. Although she knew of Lu Pingan's strength, she had never witnessed it before. Even after the engagement, she was still somewhat surprised. Pingan has been cultivating so far, it has only been about 40 years, right? Ling Zixiao still remembered that when Lu Pingan was young, he did not manifest a spiritual root, and when he first returned to Qingzhou Mountain, Lu Changsheng even asked her to instruct him in cultivating the Purple Truce solar scripture. Unknowingly, the other had grown to such an extent, which was quite astonishing. Mother, your child understands. Lu Lingxiao nodded seriously. He was aware that while he possessed a strong physical body from his body refinement practice, he lacked the means to utilize his strength properly. When it came to cultivation issues, Lu Pingan never held back advice, voicing guidance to his brothers and sisters. In addition to guiding Lu Rui and Lu Lingxiao, Lu Pingan also often cared for other brothers and sisters from Qingzhou Mountain, as well as Lu family disciples without a spiritual root. Once the trade caravan arrives at its current destination, it stops outside the entrance of the other party's mountain gate to conduct trade. Besides selling goods, the caravan also inquires if there's anything the other party wishes to sell, engaging in purchases. It's quite easy to pick up bargains during this process. Picking up a bargain doesn't mean one must find something exceedingly precious. Even things worth a few dozen or 100 spirit stones that are treated like junk and bought for just a few spirit stones count as a bargain. Originally, the Commerce Association would also make spirit stones by offering rides along the way. But this time, the Lu family caravan is mainly aiming to establish reputation and open up trade routes, not purely for profit, hence they didn't take any passengers. On the journey, besides demon beasts, they occasionally face bandits and mountain hijackers occupying the hills. In such cases, usually a bribe of some spirit stones as a toll is enough. If there is a foundation establishment cultivator presiding, merely leaking out the foundation establishment spiritual pressure can resolve the situation. As for killing, that's not usually done. Doing business is all about making money amicably. Moreover, many of these bandits are actions of the small family forces nearby. If every one of these bandits were to be killed, it would be an endless task and only bring trouble to one's own family. Sir the Nefire. At website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. 7 days later. The trade caravan encountered another attack. This time there were 3 foundation establishment cultivators, one at the late stage of foundation establishment, and 2 at the initial stages. Unlike the previous encounter with the Lingxi Xia family, these enemies didn't bother with idle talk and struck to kill immediately. If not for Lu Pingan's vigilance, even Lu family disciples might have been in trouble. Faced with this situation, Lu Pingan didn't bother with pleasantries, directly confronting the attack. Lu Rui and Lu Lingxiao also took action without delay, each facing off against a cultivator at the initial stage of foundation establishment. This commercial expedition was for Lu Lingxiao to gain experience and improve. Encountering action, he naturally took part. The Lu Family Commerce Association actually has 3, for foundation establishment cultivators, but where is the lady of the Lu family? The elder at the late stage of foundation establishment was shocked. He hadn't expected that not long after the event at Red Leaf Valley Market and the emergence of a foundation establishment stage Lu Wangshu from Bai Lake Mountain, now 2 unknown foundation establishment cultivators appeared. But what shocked him the most was Lu Pingan's combat ability. Seeing that the rumors weren't true, he immediately wanted to flee and report this information back to his clan. But Lu Pingan wouldn't let him go so easily, entangling him in the fight. Meanwhile, Lu Rui and Lu Lingxiao were each engaged with a foundation establishment cultivator, constantly exchanging blows. Both these foundation establishment cultivators were not simple, possessing the cultivation of the 3rd level of foundation establishment, belonging to veteran fighters with rich experience in combat techniques. Lu Lingxiao, who had just broken through to foundation establishment not long ago, barely managed to learn the foundation establishment spells and lacked a suitable spiritual artifact, relying solely on his foundational mana, devastation flame, and 2nd-order body refining to match his opponent evenly. However, his powerful pupil skill was amazing, his eyes gleaming with golden light, continuously discerning the opponent's weaknesses and seeking opportunities, gradually gaining the upper hand. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know your report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1234. As for Lu Rui, she had no advantage. Even as the combat between both sides progressed, she gradually fell into a disadvantage, barely hanging on with the aid of a spiritual artifact. We can't keep this up, let's go. After exchanging a few rounds of battle with Lu Pingan, this late-stage foundation establishment elder gave up on the other 2 and activated a talisman, preparing to escape alone. Trying to leave. Seeing this, Lu Pingan said to his sister, who was riding windfire wheels in the distance, Xiaohe, watch carefully. Earthshake. Lu Pingan clenched his fist, and complex patterns spread across his robust physique like chains, resembling dragons and snakes moving about, bringing boundless mighty force. The endless surge of chi blood erupted like a volcanic explosion, making the air heavy, as if a mountain had fallen, pressing down on the old man in front, causing his entire body to sink sharply. The vertebrae moved like rising dragons, throwing out a fist that gathered infinite force. Bang bang bang, the massive sound waves and fist force burst the air layer by layer, then struck the old man trying to flee. The terrible force instantly shattered the old man's defensive magic artifact, violently blasting his physical body into a mist of blood. Seeing the blood mist before him, Lu Pingan suddenly realized that this scene of battle might seem a bit brutal for his sister. Immediately, with a clench of his hand, as if grasping the air from all directions, he made all the blood mist dissipate. The other 2 initial stage foundation establishment cultivators had been observing the situation between the old man and Lu Pingan, thinking about when to retreat. Seeing this, they were instantly frightened out of their wits. What in the world? Their leader had just been killed with a single punch. In a flash, the 2 felt as if they had fallen into a cold chasm and lost all will to fight. Lu Lingxiao took advantage of this moment, and his devastation flame transformed into a black firebird, fiercely launching it to incinerate the old man before him. Spare my life, esteemed Taoists, spare my life. The man fighting with Lu Rui quickly shouted out loud, begging for mercy, knowing that continuing the fight would only lead to a dead end. Pingan, ask them where they are from. The voice of Ling Zixiao rang in Lu Pingan's mind. Yes, aunt. Upon hearing this, Lu Pingan suppressed the man with a gesture, questioning him for information. Facing such a situation, the man dared not hide anything and divulged all of the information. He revealed that he was merely a loose cultivator named Zhou Datong, who heard about this job opportunity which promised, successful or not, a second-order breaking stage pill afterward, hence he took up the task. The earlier elder likely hailed from Dayuan Mountain Yuan family. One of the 6 major false core families, Dayuan Mountain Yuan family. Loose cultivator. Upon hearing this, Lu Pingan, Lu Rui, and the others immediately understood what the Yuan family's intentions were. They deliberately sent 2 loose cultivators to probe, knowing that the elder would abandon them and escape alone should any mishaps occur. Even if the 2 were captured and accused the Yuan family of the deed, such testimonial evidence would hardly be credible. Moreover, the Yuan family didn't believe that Blue Lake Mountain would dare to trouble them. Fellow Taoists, I truly know little about this matter, have no intention of offending nobles. Here is all my wealth, I am willing to offer it as compensation. Zhou Datong pleaded, regretting so much that his guts turned green. If you want to save your life, that's possible. My Lu Family Commerce Association is newly established and short-staffed. As long as you sign a contract and serve as an escort guard for my Blue Lake Mountain for 20 years, you'll be given your freedom afterward. Just then, a graceful and elegant voice sounded. Ling Zixiao, clad in a lake blue skirt, her appearance dignified and gracious, stepped out from the carriage, looking at Zhou Datong with a calm and indifferent expression, giving off an indescribable aura of majesty and nobility. Though Blue Lake Mountain currently has quite a few foundation establishment cultivators. Sarch * the Novelier. N.E.T. website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Establishing a commerce association still requires manpower. If they paid to invite visiting noble servants, with the current reputation of Blue Lake Mountain, indeed, some could be invited. But the expenses involved in hiring escort guards would be too great, and currently not worthwhile. Since there are foundation establishment cultivators being served up on a platter, Ling Zixiao naturally would not hold back. Escort guard, 20 years. Upon hearing this, Zhou Datong's expression changed slightly. For a foundation establishment cultivator, 20 years is not very long. But the issue is not about the 20 years, but the role of the escort guard. It's known that escort guards escort merchant caravans and goods, traveling outside year-round, which is a dangerous job. Especially now that Blue Lake Mountain Lu family is in the limelight being targeted by many powers, you never know when an accident might occur. You have no choice now, either die or serve Blue Lake Mountain for 20 years. Ling Zixiao's beautiful eyes were bright, like autumn water, as she calmly and indifferently looked at Zhou Datong, exuding an ineffable nobility. I am willing. Zhou Datong knew he had no other choice, and his entire demeanor deflated as he agreed. Right then, Ling Zixiao signed a spiritual contract with him and took out a blood covenant. For a loose cultivator like Zhou Datong, whose cultivation level would hardly progress further, choosing to give up cultivation and paying some price, a second-order spiritual contract would not truly bind him. But a blood covenant is different. This type of blood covenant is extremely tyrannical. If the other party dares to betray and tears the blood covenant, it can directly cause the adversary's Tao foundation to collapse. Besides the blood covenant, Ling Zixiao also planned to go back and have Li Xingrua, her husband, research if there are poison elixirs that could be solved once every 1 or 2 years. Such multiple guarantees would provide more stability. Blood covenant. Zhou Datong looked at the blood covenant before him, his face turning pale. Knowing that once he signed the blood covenant before him, his life would be completely controlled by another. But under the current circumstances, he had no other choice, and ultimately squeezed out Essence blood to sign the blood covenant. As long as you serve Blue Lake Mountain well, it is not impossible to grant your freedom ahead of time. If you achieve merits, not to mention a second-order breaking stage pill, even a second-order high-grade breakthrough pill, my Blue Lake Mountain also has them. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know each report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1235. Ling Zixiao carefully put away the spiritual contract and the blood covenant before nonchalantly adding a sentence. Then she gracefully returned to the carriage. Zhou Datong, although aware that her words were just pie in the sky, still harbored some hope and began to comfort himself. Thinking that the Blue Lake Mountain Lu family was so extraordinary, apart from Mr. and Mrs. Lu, there was such a top-tier cultivator. If he truly devoted himself, perhaps he could really reap some benefits. Big pot, next time you should probably not use your fists. You're punching people to death. At this moment, Lu Lingyi said to his big brother, feeling that the punch just now was too fierce. All right. Lu Pingan smiled awkwardly. Lu Rui, who was standing next to them, looked at Lu Lingxiao in silence. It was one thing for the eldest brother to kill a foundation establishment cultivator with a single punch. This younger brother of his, who had only recently broken through to foundation establishment, managed to kill a foundation establishment cultivator without even using a spiritual artifact. And as for herself, as the caravan continued moving forward, Ling Zixiao then instructed her son, Lu Lingxiao, Shower, in the future, you will be in charge of family affairs. You must remember the 4 words, both kindness and might. As for how to bestow kindness and how to exert might, that is something you will have to grasp on your own. Although Zhou Datong signed the blood covenant, he has not yet fully pledged allegiance and lacks loyalty. Along the way, you can try applying both kindness and might to win him over. This might, you can exert it yourself, or through your big brother. Ling Zixiao's eyes gleamed brightly as if she could see through the carriage to Lu Pingan and Zhou Datong. Although her son was not interested in family affairs, in her view, a lack of interest and a lack of understanding were 2 different concepts. Both kindness and might. CTH Nafire. Et website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Lu Lingxiao, hearing his mother's words, glanced at Zhou Datong on top of the pack animal, nodded his head, and a memory surfaced in his mind of his mother's demeanor towards Zhou Datong just moments ago. He suddenly realized that he had never seen this side of his mother at home before. Meanwhile, at Great Ape Mountain, family head, bad news, the 4th elder's soul plate has shattered. The Yuan family elder, who was guarding the ancestral hall, came rushing with a look of urgency to report. What? The 4th elder's soul plate is shattered? How is this possible? The Yuan family head's eyes bulged with disbelief upon hearing this news. Their 4th elder possessed the cultivation of the foundation establishment's 7th layer and his combat strength was extraordinary. Even a cultivator at the peak of foundation establishment would find it difficult to kill him. This excursion was merely to probe the strength and situation of the Blue Lake Mountain Lu family caravan. How could he have died out there? The Lu family only has 2 foundation establishment cultivators. Even if they had some hidden depth, it would only add up to 3 foundation establishment cultivators at most. How could they possibly kill the 4th elder? Moreover, the 4th elder had invited 2 foundation establishment cultivators to accompany him on this outing. The head of the Yuan family still couldn't believe the news. But once he arrived at the ancestral hall and saw that the 4th elder's soul plate was indeed shattered, he immediately notified the family and then sent people to investigate the matter. 9 days later, the Lu family caravan was moving along the road. From inside the carriage behind a pack beast, Ling Zixiao's eyes suddenly opened wide as she looked at a compass in her hand. This formation compass was not meant to set up formations, but to sense them. After all, during the journey of commerce, one could encounter bandits who had arranged formations in advance, setting up an ambush. If one entered a formation set by others, even with a cultivation level 1 rank higher, it was very dangerous and would put one at a disadvantage. Pingan, Rui, Ling Xiao, be on your guard. Ling Zixiao called out to halt the caravan. Hoo. Just then, a strong wind suddenly arose in the forest, howling ominously. Buzz. Suddenly, within the sky dome, a stream of earthy yellow brilliance flowed, and a gigantic Xianhuang, mystic yellow, miniature mountain descended swiftly from the air, its might extremely terrifying. Not good. Lu Pingan was the first to react, his chi blood surging turbulently as his tall and burly figure skyrocketed towards the miniature mountain in the air, pushing upwards against it. Woo. In that instant, a protective light screen formed around the beasts of burden and the carriages. Yet, facing this oppressive aura, the beasts of burden all started to whine and cry tragically. Swoosh! The moment Lu Pingon took action, a golden arrow shot towards him furiously, its aura sharp and aggressive. Even though she knew her elder brother's body refinement was astonishing, Lu Rui still activated a second-rank golden light insignia for him without hesitation. Clang! The sound of gold striking metal rang out from his body, as the golden arrow slammed into the golden light insignia with deafening impact, shattering it instantly. Boom! Lu Pingon directly flipped the earthy yellow miniature mountain above his head, and then his palm, as large as a millstone, violently slapped away the arrow that had broken the golden light insignia. Blue Lake Mountain Lu family, what an impressive Blue Lake Mountain Lu family, truly extraordinary. Eldest son of the Lu family, Lu Pingon, it was rumored that you were at the second-rank middle stage of body refinement. Now it seems that the rumor was not only inaccurate but greatly mistaken. Your body refinement has already reached the second-rank late stage. TSK, the Lu family really knows how to keep a low profile. I thought Lu Wangshu was the main pillar of the Lu family, but now it turns out, you, Lu Pingon, are the true main pillar of the Lu family. No wonder Lu Changxing dared to trust you leading the caravan. At this moment, 4 figures stepped forward, standing side by side. One had a miniature earthy yellow mountain floating above their head, one held a bow and arrow, another wielded a feather fan, and another held a formation compass. They all appeared quite young and had an extraordinary demeanor. Lu Rui, Lu Lingxiao, and Zhou Datong immediately came to Lu Pingan's side, looking at the 4 people before them. 3 foundation establishment cultivators? Interesting, more and more interesting. No wonder your Lu family had the confidence to start a trade association and create such a commotion. The young man holding the feather fan paused, and then chuckled aloud. Xuanwu Ridge Sima family, the Sima Sijia, 4 heroes. Lu Rui recognized the identities and backgrounds of the 4 individuals in front of them. Not only did the 4 hail from the Sima family, but they were also siblings born of the same mother. For 4 brothers, all born of the same mother, to each possess a spiritual root and have exceptional talent enough to break through to foundation establishment is indeed quite rare in the cultivation world. And all 4 of them had their own fair share of fortunate encounters, each possessing not ordinary strength, having once killed a great cultivator in the late stage of foundation establishment. They were not only famous in the Qingyun region but also had considerable notoriety throughout the Jiang country cultivation realm. Lu Rui did not expect that the Sima family would be so brazen in making a move on their family caravan. Unlike the Xia family who had come previously just for a probe. If the family had enough strength, even offering an apology or discussing cooperation was considered. The Yuan family, though directly murderous, still concealed their identities. But the Sima family in front of them had no disguise at all, openly assassinating their caravan. This was completely disregarding their Lu family, with no concern for face. I heard the Sima family has some relations with the Jin family. Now that our family is involved with the Jin family, it makes sense that the Sima family would take direct action. Lu Rui contemplated and immediately communicated the intel on the Sima Sijia to her elder brother, Lu Lingxiao. She then proceeded to tell Zhou Datong the situation of the 4 individuals as well. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know each report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1236, Since you know of our brother's reputation, we'll give you a chance now. Roll back to Blue Lake Mountain immediately. Matters of the trade association are not for the Lu family to meddle in. The youth holding the feather fan spoke coldly, with a swirl of green nether energy whirling around his feather fan. Although the 4 of them were overconfident, a brief exchange just now had shown them that Lu Pingon was no ordinary opponent, and they did not have full confidence in killing him. After all, the Blue Lake Mountain Lu family was famous for their talisman path. No one knew how many talismans the Lu family disciples had on hand, so they were still being somewhat cautious and prudent. Therefore, driving the Lu family back to their patch on Blue Lake Mountain was sufficient for this trip. In their eyes, The Lu family of Blue Lake Mountain had been secretly accumulating strength and nurturing so many foundation establishment cultivators in recent years that they had already exhausted their foundation. As long as the family could no longer support these foundation establishment cultivators, it would not be long before their prosperity turned to decline. The Sima family surely is overbearing. Damn it, if we were to retreat now, the trade association business would be utterly untenable. The Lu family disciples standing beside the caravan, upon hearing this, were all infuriated, feeling that the Sima family was too domineering. Then, they looked toward the towering figure of Lu Pingan. Now, their only hope was that their own elder brother, uncle, could repel the four of them. Rui, Ling Xiao, Zhou Daoist, be cautious. Lu Pingan didn't say much. The black dragon halberd appeared in his hand, and his robust and majestic body took large strides forward, charging at the four before him. How dare you! Arrogant! Simply seeking death. The Sima CGS saw Lu Pingan actually facing the four of them alone, their faces turned cold, with a chill expression. In their view, Lu Pingan indeed had extraordinary strength. But for him to face the four of them alone was a blatant disregard. They did not take the four brothers seriously at all. Buzz! Sima Bo let out a cold hum, and the earthy yellow mini mountain above his head instantly enlarged, spanning like the Xian Huang mountains between heaven and earth, pressing down on Lu Pingan. Boom! The Xian Huang mountains made it seem as though the heavens and earth themselves became heavier. An invisible pressure, thread by thread, enveloped the entire area, causing nearby Lu Lingxiao, Lu Rui, and Zhou Datong to feel somewhat unstable. The caravan's beasts of burden, Lu family disciples, and warriors also turned pale under this intangible pressure, their chi blood roiling and found it hard to breathe. Buzz, 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 just at that moment, streams of light burst forth from the cargo boxes of the caravan, converging into an invisible light barrier enveloping the entire caravan. Array Master. Sima Shu, holding the array plate, looked towards one of the carriages, squinting his eyes. The lady of the Lu family from Blue Lake Mountain, Ling Zixiao, is precisely an array master. Third brother, it seems the formation you've arranged has been detected by this lady. Lady Lu hasn't shown up yet. Is there something shameful? Sima Zhong and Sima Ji also looked toward the carriage, seemingly trying to see through it to glimpse Ling Zixiao inside. Pingan, no need to waste time with them. Make it quick. CTH Novelfire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. At that moment, an elegant and pleasant voice came from inside the carriage. The voice was very calm, yet it clearly reached everyone's ears. No need to waste time. Quick resolution. Is everyone from your Blue Lake Mountain Lu family this arrogant? Even if Lu Changsheng and Lu Miaogo were here, they would not dare to speak to us brothers like this. The Sima Siji's expressions turned icy, and the eldest Sima Bo, with roiling chi blood like that of a demon beast, spoke with a heavy voice. He was also truly a body cultivator. You are not fit to mention my father, my aunt by name. When Lu Pingan heard this, a cold light flashed in his eyes as well. The four before him were too arrogant. Not only had they tried to lay deadly hands upon meeting and nearly kill his caravan's disciples, but now they even spoke insultingly of his own father and aunt. His stature was imposing, dressed in silver armor, his eyes swirling with wind and thunder. Each movement was charged with the stirring of wind and thunder, like a thunderous war god. Wind and thunder, mountain opener. Lu Pingan thrust the black dragon halberd, his right arm lifted with chi blood surging, gathering boundless wind and thunder, forming a colossal axe above his head. Since you ask for death, us four brothers will grant it to you. Sima Bo's burly body shimmered with Xian Huang light, giving off a presence as heavy as a mountain, his actions merging with the Xian Huang mountains that spanned between heaven and earth. He was indeed extraordinary, his body refinement having already reached the second-rank late stage, and he possessed Foundation Establishment's 6th-layer cultivation level. If Lu Pingan's 100 refinements treasure body art had not broken through to the 8th level, he might not be able to suppress him. Facing the four brothers, he would certainly be at a disadvantage. But at this moment, Lu Pingan held nothing back, directly unleashing his quasi-third-order physique. Boom! The wind and thunder-wreathed colossal axe collided fiercely with the Xianhuang Mountains, immediately unleashing a terrifying might that shook the earth and sky. The explosion of divine power was brutal and violent, as if to obliterate everything in its path, causing the Xianhuang Mountains that spanned the sky dome to constantly tremble, nearly cracking. Not good. Third brother, fourth brother, take action. The feather fan-wielding Sima Zhong's face changed, immediately realizing something was amiss. Their eldest brother's punch was actually inferior to Lu Pingan's. It was being pushed back continuously under Lu Pingan's fist. He did not dare to hesitate, the feather fan in his hand violently fanned out, the green nether wind instantly sweeping towards Lu Pingan. Clang, 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 this green nether wind was a potent wind, striking against Lu Pingan's body like steel blades, resounding with the sound of metal on metal. Swoosh, 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 the bow-wielding Sima Ji pulled the bowstring, and sharp golden arrows shot out, piercing the void, aimed murderously at Lu Pingan with killing intent. Meanwhile, Sima Shu, with the compass, squinted at the caravan below, offering up a magic pearl, attempting to break through Ling Zixio's formation. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know each report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1237. As an array master, he knew that the merchant convoy's formation was solely supported by spirit stones. Its power was limited and it could not be sustained for long. Since he had taken action, he naturally would not hold back anymore. These four brothers were all exceptionally strong, each with their own strengths. Ordinary peak foundation establishment cultivators would perish at their hands. Big brother Lu Lingxiao and Lu Rui, witnessing this scene, did not shrink back. Although it was difficult for them to be of any help with their strength. In this situation, they could not simply watch their eldest brother being ganged up on by four people. Screech! Lu Lingxiao performed a gesture incantation, and the devastation flame blazed in front of him, transforming into black firebirds that charged toward the golden arrows. Lu Rui then sacrificed her flying sword and attacked Sima Shu, who was holding an array plate. As the opponent was an array master, she had to interfere if she wanted to break the formation. Zhou Datong, seeing this scene, was utterly dumbfounded. He did not expect that just after signing a blood covenant with the Lu family, he would encounter the famous foundation establishment cultivators, Sima Sijia. He felt like acting and not acting in the current situation were both wrong. After all, if he took action, he might end up being beaten or killed by Sima Sijia later. But if he didn't take action, his own blood covenant was still in the hands of Ling Zixiao. Damn, what greedy thoughts did I have earlier? Zhou Datong inwardly cursed but still chose to act, sacrificing his own flying sword, which shone brilliantly, and attacked Sima Ji. A few small fries also dared to interfere. Sima Zhong looked at the three coldly, the five-colored feather fan in his hand flowed with five-colored radiance, generating waves of five-colored chi winds that tore through the air and directly attacked the three of them. To Lu Rui, Lu Lingxiao, and Zhou Datong, as peak foundation establishment cultivators, they were completely disregarded by Sima Sijia. Usually, they were just little cultivators who could be killed on a whim. Pingan, don't be distracted, focus on killing the person in front of you first. At that moment, in the carriage where Ling Zixiao was, besides him and Lu Lingyi, there was another woman who looked exactly like Ling Zixiao. However, this woman, compared to Ling Zixiao, seemed to have a few more traces of allure in her eyebrows and eyes. The words had just been spoken. Ah! Sima Bo, who was vehemently contending with Lu Pingan, suddenly felt an intense pain in his divine consciousness, causing a spell of dizziness. Crack! The vast Xianhuang Mountains suddenly appeared cracked at this moment. And immediately after. Boom! The punch from Lu Pingan was like a divine axe that splits heaven and earth, breaking through the chi wind. Ah! Accompanied by a tragic scream, the robust physique of Sima Bo, resembling that of a demon beast, exploded under this punch. Big brother. The other three, seeing this scene, were shocked and did not understand what just happened. How their own big brother could be defeated in an instant. Divine Consciousness Secret Technique. This is a Divine Consciousness Secret Technique, be careful. Ling Zixiao. Sima Sijia, able to have such a renowned reputation, were naturally extraordinary. They instantly realized what had happened. Their big brother must have been secretly attacked by a Divine Consciousness Secret Technique, which caused him to be distracted, leading to his defeat. Otherwise, even if Lu Pingan in front of them was incredibly powerful and domineering, he would not be able to kill their eldest brother in one punch amidst their combined assault. Let's go, let's get out of here quickly, there's a big problem with Blue Lake Mountain Lu family. The three brothers, although heartbroken, also realized at this moment that with Lu Pingan's physical body combined with Ling Zixiao's Divine Consciousness Secret Technique, it would be difficult for the brothers to withstand. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, Sima Zhong continuously waved the five-colored feather fan in his hand, sweeping up chi winds like a vast ocean, covering the area to buy time for their escape. There's a formation ahead, Pingan, strike down the person holding the array plate. In the carriage, Ling Zixiao's calm and indifferent voice sounded, noticing that the three were going to utilize the formation to escape. Buzz buzz buzz, Sima Shu, holding the array plate, upon hearing this, immediately felt horrified. Immediately after, a small bell in his mind started frantically ringing, indicating that a divine sense attack was targeting his soul. Nascent soul divine sense, how is this possible? Sima Shu's face was filled with terror. The small bell in his mind was a divine sense secret treasure designed to defend his mental spirit and fend off divine sense attacks. But at this moment, this divine sense had already surpassed the limits his secret treasure could handle. Instantly, Sima Shu's mind was in severe pain, and his mental spirit was in a trance. Spurt. Lu Pingan stood majestic, aura radiating with golden treasure light, directly ignoring Sima Zhong's five-colored chi wind, standing firmly and punching directly at Sima Shu, whose body exploded into a mass of blood and mud. Even though Sima Shu was wearing a magical robe and had a spiritual artifact automatically protecting him, all defenses and body-protecting chi barriers broke down under Lu Pingan's golden fist. Third brother. Sima Zhong and Sima Ji, witnessing this scene, were utterly heartbroken and incredulous. But at this moment, the two were terrified out of their wits and had no desire to fight any longer. The brothers chose to escape separately. Because they knew that if they escaped together at this time, it might be even more dangerous. Pingan, the person holding the feather fan. Shower, the person holding the bow and arrows. In the carriage, Ling Zixiao continued to speak. Sir the Nelfer. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Both, having already transformed into escape lights, stiffened suddenly as their divine sense was damaged. Spurt. Lu Pingan swiftly soared out, his fist flowing with golden treasure light, blasting Sima Zhong's body into pieces. Lu Lingxiao then drove the devastation flame towards Sima Ji. But even though Sima Ji's divine sense was in intense pain and his mental spirit was in a trance, his body still formed a body-protecting chi barrier, resisting Lu Lingxiao's devastation flame. Boom! Lu Lingxiao, imitating his elder brother, mobilized his chi blood. His physique glowed as he fiercely punched out. Yet, this punch merely threw Sima Ji backwards, smashing him to the ground as he spat blood, but it did not kill him. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know each report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1238, Sima Ji also regained some clarity from the severe pain in his divine sense due to the attack, his face twisted ferociously as he looked at Lu Lingxiao. But the next moment. Pfft! Lu Pingan hurled the black dragon halberd over, like a ferocious black dragon descending from the sky, piercing straight through Sima Ji's chest, nailing him dead. Lingxiao, you can ask Father more about how to fuse your heavenly spiritual fire with the 100 refinements treasure body art. Lu Pingan turned to his younger brother and patted his shoulder. He still clearly remembered, after the end of the Purple Shadow's secret realm, the elder ancestor of the Su family came to hunt him and his brother Lu Chuanjin. In the face of the elder ancestor of the Su family, their father burned his body with a purplish-red heavenly spiritual fire and then vanquished the adversary with a punch. The heavenly spiritual fire of his brother Lu Lingxiao, though not as astonishing as their father's. But so long as he was given time to grow, it is not impossible to achieve the same. Yes, big brother. Through their time together these days, Lu Lingxiao had come to admire his elder brother profoundly. He also recognized the dominance of body cultivation and the 100 refinements treasure body art from him. Ordinary cultivators, when facing the techniques of the same level, would have to defend against the onslaught with magical robes and magic artifacts. Yet his elder brother just now directly ignored the other's gang wind with his physical body and even resisted the spiritual artifact arrows with his flesh. This kind of fierce fighting method, unless cultivators of the same rank collaborate in a group attack or possess some exotic treasure, they would have no way to counter it. This. Zhou Datong, watching Lu Pingan, who seemed like a god or demon, was simply dry-throated and trembling in his spirit. To know an existence like the Sima Sijie was someone he could only look up to in ordinary days. But such a renowned figure was now effortlessly suppressed and killed by this eldest son of the Lu family. Once this news spreads out, it's likely to shock the entire Jiang country cultivation realm. Because this is no longer the fighting strength of a foundation establishment cultivator. This eldest young master of the Lu family is quite approachable on regular days. He's in charge of the Lu Family Commerce Association. If I do my duties well, I might actually gain my freedom, and perhaps even a second-order breaking stage pill. At this moment, Zhou Datong fostered some thoughts of allegiance, thinking that serving the Lu family might not be so bad. So this is Big Brother's strength. With Big Brother here, what is there to fear on the journey ahead? The other Lu family disciples escorting the convoy also pulled themselves out of their recent fears, each one excited beyond measure. Although they had never heard of any Sima Sijie. But the spiritual pressure just now was the most terrifying they had ever seen. Merely a breath of air made their chi blood churn and breathing difficult. Yet such beings were all blasted to their death by their own big brother, uncles punch by punch. What could there possibly be to fear on the rest of their journey? Pingan, thank you for your hard work. At this moment, Ling Zixiao glanced at the 1,000 faces puppet fox beside her, and as her daughter Lu Lingyi stepped out of the carriage, she addressed the eldest son of the Lu family. Even though she was well aware of the capabilities of the 1,000 faces puppet fox, the effect just now was still beyond her expectations. Thanks to Auntie Ling. Lu Pingan knew that Ling Zixiao had taken action just now. Otherwise, even if he could win, he wouldn't have been able to kill all four. It could be said that these four were the strongest opponents he had faced since he set out on his path. Each of them had profound strength, and their techniques complemented each other. Now that the beasts of burden have been frightened, we can no longer continue on our journey. Pingan, you should also rest well, recover your condition, and wait for the upcoming battle. Ling Zixiao, dressed in a lake blue palace dress, her figure dignified and elegant, said with a light smile. The upcoming battle? Lu Lingxiao and Lu Rui beside her were both startled and somewhat surprised when they heard this. These four were the seeds of the Sima family's current generation. Rumors have it that the four had acquired an opportunity for inheritance, and their cultivation methods are enhanced when practiced together, not to say necessarily achieving core formation simultaneously, but they are also likely to reach false core. Now that the four are dead, the patriarch of the Sima family will certainly not sit still and will come to seek vengeance. With a slight smile and an offhand manner, Ling Zixiao said. The false core patriarch. The false core immortal. Everyone nearby was shocked upon hearing this. Even Lu Pingan's heart skipped a beat. Although he had advanced to the 8th layer of the 100 refinements treasure body art, he had just made the breakthrough recently and had not yet developed divine skills. If he encounters a false core immortal, the outcome may be difficult to predict. Rest assured, unless the Sima family sends 2 of their false core real people, or invites their mysterious turtle, there's no need to worry. This battle also serves to establish the might of our Blue Lake Mountain, deterring others from constantly seeking trouble with us. Ling Zixiao said softly. Even though she usually doesn't concern herself with family affairs, she had spent time understanding the power dynamics of the Jiang country cultivation realm, especially the family forces of the Qingyun region. After speaking, she turned to look at Lu Pingan and continued, "After this battle, every move you make will be watched by others. Pingan will follow Auntie Ling's arrangements." Lu Pingan said with his hands clasped in salute. His father had instructed him, if he was uncertain about anything during this trade mission, he could consult Auntie Ling. Therefore, upon hearing the other party, he did not raise any questions and chose to trust. "Mother, wouldn't this be too dangerous? Didn't father say that harmony is precious?" Lu Lingxiao spoke up. Although he had faith in his mother. Sarch * the novel, F. Iyer. Et website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Yet, this was essentially a confrontation with a false core immortal, which seemed too risky in his eyes. Ling Zixiao glanced at her son and spoke, "It's true that harmony is precious, but excessive concession only makes us seem weak and susceptible to bullying, leading others to push us even further. Our family must now show some toughness to secure a footing for the Commerce Association. Besides, now that a fight has happened, even if we return to Blue Lake Mountain, the Sima family will still come looking for us. In that case, it's better to settle the grudges here directly. This battle will also signal to other forces that we at Blue Lake Mountain do not provoke trouble, yet we do not fear it either. Should anyone dare to trouble our family, they better weigh their options carefully. Moreover, the 6 false core families have always been fighting overtly and covertly. The Jin family already has a bad relationship with us. If we also antagonize the Sima family, the other families will surely be more than happy to forge good relations with us. Some of the family forces around the Sima family will also take the initiative to reach out and cooperate with us." Ling Zixiao patiently explained to her son, "As for the wrath of the Sima family, there's no need to care about it." Although she approved of her husband's principles, she believed that sometimes it was necessary to be more assertive. While it may attract trouble and unwanted attention, it also prevents a lot of hassles. Furthermore, the events at the Red Leaf Valley Market, along with the continuous foundation establishment breakthroughs of the children at home, meant that the family's situation couldn't be concealed after all. Instead of hiding and pretending, it's better to frankly reveal some information to others. If Lu Pingan shows false core strength, then our family would be completely regarded as a false core family. Isn't it quite normal for the family to have a few more foundation establishment cultivators then? As for the fact that Lu Pingan is so young yet has the power of a quasi-third order body refining and false core level, although this matter is exaggerated and astonishing, it's not so shocking in the eyes of core formation cultivators and nascent soul true lords throughout the cultivation world. After all, the cultivation world is filled with countless opportunities and miracles. Why couldn't our Blue Lake Mountain Lu family produce a few individuals of great fortune? It's precisely because Lu Pingan has encountered great opportunities and fortune that he has such body refining strength at a young age. It's also because of such miraculous encounters that our Blue Lake Mountain has seen a surge of foundation establishment cultivators. As long as we don't draw the attention of nascent soul true lords, these false core families, and even core formation noble families, are nothing but whetstones for my children's growth. The child understands, Lu Lingxiao nodded thoughtfully. In his younger years, his mother had taught him many life lessons. But having always been in Blue Lake Mountain, he felt that many of his mother's words clashed with what he had heard elsewhere. Only now, during this trip, did he start to grasp the meaning of some of her words. This trip has been rewarding. Xiaohe, go with your elder brother and sister Rui to sort things out. Ling Zixiao smiled at her daughter. The battle was bloody and brutal, and she didn't want her daughter to get too involved. But her daughter loved sorting through their battle spoils. Even if she did not get much herself, just being involved in the tally could make her happy for quite a while. Big pot. Lu Lingyi immediately looked at Lu Pingan with bright and sparkling eyes. Xiaohe, you and Rui will do just fine sorting things out, big brother needs to rest for a bit. Lu Pingan patted her little head and grinned. He was preparing to restore himself to peak condition as soon as possible since he would soon face a false core real person. Although the previous battle only lasted a few exchanges, it was not small in consumption. Seeing her daughter happily calculating their gains with Lu Rui, Ling Zixiao also took her son, Lu Lingxiao, to set up formations around them and taught him about formation knowledge. While she downplayed this battle, she was also making preparations to ensure everything was foolproof, to avoid any accidents. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know each report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1239, Profound Martial Ridge. Sima Family Ancestral Hall. How is this possible? The Sima family head saw the 4 shattered soul plates in front of him, his entire body shivering uncontrollably, his face deathly pale. Not only was he afraid of the death of his 4 uncles, he also feared the wrath of the family patriarch after his uncles' deaths. After all, these 4 uncles were the hope of this generation for the Sima family, with future prospects of reaching core formation. Now, they had all fallen unexpectedly. My uncles were just going to deal with the Blue Lake Mountain Lu family caravan. How could they possibly fall in the outside world? Could it be that some other family's false core patriarch ambushed and killed them on the way? The Sima family head's body trembled continuously, muttering to himself, unwilling to believe this fact. No, this is absolutely unthinkable. If other false cores dared to commit such a taboo act, it would lead to an all-out fatal rupture with our Sima family. They definitely wouldn't dare to do so. Moreover, my uncles were extraordinary, even a true pill master would find it difficult to kill them all. The Sima family head's throat was dry, his mental spirit quivering, suspecting that his 4 uncles might have encountered other dangers on the road. Not daring to think further, he hurriedly flew towards the top of Profound Martial Peak. Arriving in front of a cave mansion, he knelt down and shouted, "Patriarch, there's a great disaster." What issue needs such screaming and shouting? A deep, heavy voice filled with authority came from the cave mansion. CTH Novelfire, net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Patriarch, the Sima family head knelt in front of the cave mansion, his face deathly pale, his forehead dripping with sweat, his voice hoarse as he said, "Sima Bo, Sima Zhong, Sima Shu, Sima Ji, the soul plates of the 4 uncles, have shattered." What? An overwhelming magic aura billowed out from the cave mansion, hitting the Sima family head who knelt outside so hard that his whole body sank, his chi blood tumbling violently, leaving him with a heavy feeling in his chest. He didn't dare to move, prostrating on the ground, and with a trembling voice said, "Not long ago, upon hearing about the matters at Blue Lake Mountain, the 4 uncles went to intercept the Lu family caravan, saying they wanted to cut them down a notch." Blue Lake Mountain Lu family caravan? How could a mere Blue Lake Mountain Lu family kill the pride of my Sima family? An old man with gray hair, a rugged face, dressed in black brocade robes, walked out of the cave mansion, his eyes round and fearsome, looking at the Sima family head in front of him, radiating an intense oppressive aura. "Patriarch, I am also at a loss." The Sima family head trembled as he spoke. He knew well that their family patriarch was not someone with a good temper. It was only after breaking through to false core that he began to cultivate his disposition, becoming much more amiable. The Blue Lake Mountain Lu family, I remember that young lad Lu Changsheng and his wife cultivated a dual cultivation technique, their battle power comparable to a false core, also possessing a superior talisman formation art. The family patriarch spoke with an authoritative and domineering voice, his eyes sharp and penetrating, continuing to ask, could this Lu family caravan be personally overseen by Lu Changsheng and Lu Miaoge? This Lu family caravan was presided over by the Lu family's eldest son, Lu Pingan, and Lu Changsheng's Dao companion, Ling Zixiao, the Sima family head replied. After finishing, he added, a month ago, under Blue Lake Mountain's Red Leaf Valley Market held a foundation establishment elixir auction. During this event, Lu Changsheng did not show up, so it's not ruled out that Lu Changsheng was hiding within the caravan. Although he did not think that Lu Changsheng had the strength to kill his 4 uncles, he suspected that these 4 uncles could have encountered dangers elsewhere. But with the family patriarch in a fury, he would certainly pour out his rage. If he were to analyze the situation further, causing the patriarch's anger to have no outlet, it might fall on his own head. If Lu Changsheng and Lu Miaoge lack her presence in their dual cultivation technique, where would he get such ability? The patriarch Sima was enraged beyond measure, but still maintained his rationale. Patriarch, recently at the Red Leaf Valley Market, the daughter of Lu Changsheng, Lu Wangshu, alone with her talisman formation killed 5 Foundation establishment cultivators, indicating that Lu Changsheng's talisman inheritance is extraordinary, a top-tier legacy. Early in his years, just after breaking through to Foundation establishment, Lu Changsheng relied on his talisman formation to kill 3 Foundation establishment cultivators from the Yu family, thereby taking over by Lake Mountain. After so many years, nobody knows how advanced Lu Changsheng's talisman skills have become. If the 4 uncles were careless and fell into his talisman formation, it's possible that the Sima family head was speaking when suddenly, he felt it made much sense. It was quite possible. Immediately lifting his head, he looked at his family patriarch with a grieving expression and said, otherwise, with the 4 uncles' strength, even a true pill master in a confrontational fight couldn't have killed them all. I heard from the 19th uncle that the soul plates of the 4 uncles shattered almost simultaneously, which is similar to Lu Changsheng's talisman formation technique. Patriarch, you must seek justice for the 4 uncles. The Sima family head cried out loud, a wave of sadness welling up in his heart. But as soon as the words left his mouth, his heart sank sharply. If Lu Changsheng could kill his own 4 uncles, if their own patriarch went, could he really kill him? Lu Changsheng, what a Lu Changsheng, daring to kill the pride of my Sima family. This old patriarch will annihilate your Blue Lake Mountain Lu family. Upon hearing this, Patriarch Sima was burning with rage. It should be noted that the 4 brothers Sima Bo acquired a great fortune back then, cultivating an unparalleled secret technique. When one of them aimed to break through to core formation, the other 3 could sacrifice their lives' origin source to assist, improving the breakthrougher's chances of core formation by 20 to 30%. With the Sima family's background, coupled with this secret technique, perhaps they could achieve a breakthrough to core formation for one person, catapulting their Sima family into a nascent soul noble family. But now, with the fall of the 4 Sima brothers, their great clan dream was directly shattered. How could he not be enraged by this situation? 3rd and 4th, are they at home? Notify them to come and see me. Patriarch Sima was beyond furious, his false core power permeating his surroundings, making the adjacent Sima family head feel suffocated, struggling to breathe. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know each report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1240. Although he was angry, he realized that it might be difficult to kill Lu Changsheng, who had slain 4 of his family's proud sons. After all, no one knows how many talismans a talisman cultivator has in hand. The 4th brother is at home, and the 3rd brother seemed to have gone to Thundercliff not long ago. S.E.A. The Novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. The Sima family head said with some difficulty. Little 4, come see me. The voice of Patriarch Sima thundered, and then he looked toward the back hill of his own family and called out in a low voice, Black Shadow. Whistle. A moment later, a whistling cry sounded. A gigantic goshawk with deep ink-like lustrous feathers spread its wings and approached. Its eagle eyes were deep and sharp, its beak curved and pointed, glistening with a cold metallic luster, and its talons were like refined steel, emanating a fearsome demon chi. For a false core family like the Sima family with a legacy of over 1,000 years, in addition to nurturing the family's children, they also raise several spiritual beasts to bolster their foundations. However, the most famous spiritual beast of the Sima family is a mysterious turtle left behind by Patriarch Sima in his early years. It is said that this mysterious turtle has extraordinary bloodlines, advancing towards a 3rd-rank demon king, and even the name of the family's territory, Profound Martial Ridge, is related to this mysterious turtle. 2nd uncle. A moment later, an old man exuding the spiritual pressure of Foundation establishment hurried over and saluted the Patriarch Sima who stood before him. Where is the Lu family caravan at this moment? Patriarch Sima's gray hair whipped wildly, his authority intimidating as he looked towards the Sima family head and asked in a deep voice. Based on the previous information, they should be near Julian Mountain, the Sima family head quickly responded. Little Four, come with me. Upon hearing this, Patriarch Sima's eyes glinted sharply with killing intent. He immediately took the elder named Little Four to the back of the black goshawk. Whistle. The goshawk let out a loud cry, stirring up a gust that swept everything away, as it flew out of profound Marshall Ridge towards the direction of Julian Mountain. Meanwhile, Bihu Mountain, Lu family mansion. Lingxi Lake Xia family, Dayuan Mountain Yuan family, profound Marshall Ridge Sima family. Lu Changxing glanced at the letter in his hand, chuckled lightly, and said, "It seems that the events at Red Leaf Valley Market have dissuaded certain families with ill intentions from their schemes. And these few false core families can no longer remain seated idly." After the incident at Red Leaf Valley Market had ended, he had speculated that his family's caravan would be targeted. The several false core families of Qingyun region were likely to take direct action. Now, seeing the letter from Ling Zixiao, his guess was confirmed. However, the attitude of the Lingxi Xia family seems quite amiable. This shows that not all false core families bear malice towards his own. And that is also quite normal. The various false core families aren't united and are competitors to each other. Though Bihu Mountain is fierce in its rise, it bears no direct conflict or dispute, and none are willing to fight to the death. No one is so noble as to confront Bihu Mountain for the peace of mind of other family forces. Miaoyun, later have Xingyang send someone to Lingxi Lake Xia family for a visit and deliver an invitation, Lu Changxing said thoughtfully to his wife, Lu Miaoyun, beside him. At present, the family is arranging the foundation establishment ceremony for Lu Wangshu. Given the current circumstances of Bihu Mountain, there really isn't much point in arranging a grand ceremony. A small family celebration would suffice. But this time, under the guise of Lu Wangshu's foundation establishment ceremony, they aim to invite other family forces to Bihu Mountain to discuss partnership opportunities and seek cooperative partners. After all, establishing a trade association cannot rely solely on their own family, Qingzhou Mountain, and Hundred Birds Lake. These few families alone are clearly not enough. Moreover, when it comes to a trade association making money, it's impossible for one family to monopolize everything without sharing any benefits. Doing so would undoubtedly make enemies of all forces. One's family couldn't handle everything alone. Therefore, cooperation is still required to form an interest group through the trade association. With shared interests, the cooperation between both sides will be incredibly stable. Eventually, other family forces would also be willing to wholeheartedly safeguard Bihu Mountain. Alright, I'll have Yunar or Qingsong go there later, Lu Miaoyun replied. Though a mere visit or invitation could easily be communicated by sending anyone. Yet for a false core family like Lingxi Lake Xia family, their own family still needs to show respect. Emichim. Lu Changxing nodded, his eyes narrowing slightly at the mention of the Dayuan Mountain Yuan family and profound Marshall Ridge Sima family on the letter. According to investigations by Xiao Xie and Xia Zhaoyang, these two families also had a hand in the trouble at Red Leaf Valley Market. However, both families had kept their actions clean. So far, only traces of a vassal family under the Yuan family had been found. The foundation establishment cultivator that Xiao Xie had killed with a single slap came from this foundation establishment family. Rumors have it that Tianyuan's secret realm has drawn the attention of quite a few nascent soul immortals to Jiang country, and even the death of White Peak Immortal is assumed to be the work of these demonic path nascent soul cultivators. Perhaps we should take this opportunity to give the Yuan and Sima families a bit of trouble, Lu Changxing pondered inwardly. Having repeatedly ambushed demon kings in Myriad Beasts mountain range, he now had experience in laying ambushes. He just needed to come up with a way to make some noise, lure the patriarchs of both families out of their great formations, and then kill them instantaneously. If he was willing to take some risks, he could even use the fate-defying robe and 9 treasures Rui Bone's unsealing divine light to directly infiltrate Dayuan Mountain and profound Marshall Ridge. Forget it, we're not yet at that point. Besides, it's impossible for a family to rise without encountering some troubles and obstacles. After pondering for a while, Lu Changxing shook his head, dismissing the thought. At present, in the vicinity, except for Jinlong Ridge Jin family, none could pose a challenge to his family. If he were to wipe out the Sima family and the Yuan family, the false core level powers, once his family extinguished the Jin family, there'd be no competitors left in the entire Qingyun region, aside from the beast-taming Su family. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know it report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1241. In such a situation, for the growth of our own family and the development of our children, it is not a good thing. Moreover, the growth of the family cannot solely rely on annihilating other forces in advance, right? Buzz. Just then, Lu Chongqing suddenly felt a slight tremor in the earth's veins of Bai Lake Mountain. Lu Chongqing furrowed his brows slightly, his pupils gleaming with a purple-gold luster, as he surveyed Bai Yun Peak before him. Bai Yun Peak, being the main vein of Bai Lake Mountain, is connected to the earth's veins through formations. Unless someone attacks the Great Formation, there shouldn't be any earthquakes. Indeed, these two branches have formed. Lu Changsheng's eyes shone brightly, seeing through the mountain rocks to the formation of two nurtured branches on Bai Yun Peak, a joyous expression on his face. The spirit vein of Bai Yun Peak should have advanced to second-order high quality long ago. It was the nurturing of these two branches that caused the delay. Husband, what's wrong? Sarch * the novel _fire. @ website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Lu Miaoyun and Chu Zhenzhen looked at Lu Chongsheng and asked aloud. Hee, the two small peaks next to us are finally shaping up. Lu Chongsheng said with a laugh. Regarding the cultivation of these two spirit vein peaks, he did not hide it, and many people at home knew about it. After all, the advancement of a spirit vein can still be somewhat concealed through methods. But nurturing small peak branches cannot be concealed at all. Immediately, Lu Chongsheng called over his son, Lu Xingyang. He pointed to the small hillsides rising on the left and right sides of Bai Yun Peak and instructed him to evacuate the family members, telling them not to get close to here. Then he informed everyone in the family who was currently cultivating in meditation to temporarily stop their cultivation. Yes, father. Lu Xingyang had long known that these two small hillsides were spirit veins nurtured by Bai Yun Peak. Once the spirit veins are formed, the terrain of these two hillsides will rise slightly, forming a small peak. Mount Sumeru. After arranging everything, Lu Chongsheng came to the summit of Bai Yun Peak and shouted towards Mount Sumeru, indicating that when the spirit vein of Bai Yun Peak advances later, it would suppress the spiritual mechanism of Bai Yun Peak and keep things quiet. After all, it was just over 30 years ago that the spirit vein of Bai Yun Peak had advanced to second-order superior. If it now advances to second-order high quality, that would make his family seem exceedingly affluent. Yes, master. The light and pleasant voice of Mount Sumeru sounded in Lu Changsheng's mind. Rooted on the spiritual vein of Bai Yun Peak, it merely needed to suppress the spiritual mechanism and swallow the excess of nature's spiritual energy into Mount Sumeru Cave Heaven, then there wouldn't be any disturbance. At most, the elevation of the terrain would increase slightly. But as long as it is not advancing to a third-order spirit vein, the change in terrain won't be too exaggerated. Rise. After instructing Mount Sumeru, Lu Chongsheng performed the dragon-seeking art with his hands, causing Bai Yun Peak to tremble slightly, as if shaking. Within the earth's veins, the spiritual mechanism flowed, and suddenly, the two small adjacent hillsides began to rumble as sand flew and stones scattered. Moments later, a surge of gray-black energy spread from the small hillsides, and the terrain began to rise slowly. This signifies the formation of the spirit vein, with the dispersing of the earth-fiendish miasma. What's this commotion? A spirit vein is forming. Aside from Bai Yun Peak, Lake Heart Island, and Lingsue Cliff, our home is gaining another spirit vein. Not just one, but two. So this is the formation of a spirit vein, how wondrous and mystical. Many Lu family disciples, apprentices, and visiting noble servants who heard the commotion gazed toward the two hillsides beside Bai Yun Peak, all astonished beyond measure. After all, the formation of spirit veins is something most people have only read about in books. Seeing such a spectacle now, they felt greatly enlightened. Even through linking branches with Bayun Peak, nurturing such a branch vein would require at least 2 or 3 spiritual origin pearls, right? Spiritual origin pearls? I remember such spiritual spring items are worth tens of thousands of spirit stones each. Yes, and such treasures are priceless. Only big families like Bihu Mountain have the strength and financial resources to acquire them. A few observant visiting noble servants, witnessing this scene, expressed their sentiment aloud. Even though they all had unique skills and earned nearly 100 spirit stones per month, to purchase a single spiritual origin pearl, they would need to work hard for half their lifetime without spending on anything else. And for Bihu Mountain to cultivate 2 spirit veins at this time, their efforts would not be enough even if they worked until death. An hour and a half later, the 2 hillsides beside Bayun Peak had calmed down, becoming 2 small peaks about 10 meters high. Although they are only first-order high quality, now that the spirit vein has formed, subsequent nurturing will be easier. Lu Changxing looked at these 2 small peaks, a faint smile on his face. In his hands, with the origin source of the spirit vein, not to mention the 2 peaks before him, he could nurture 3 to 5 more to second-order high quality without any problem. However, for these 2 small peaks, he had no plans to nurture them to second-order yet. He would first cultivate them to first-order high quality, then wait for Ling Zixiao to set up a formation to conceal the situation before deciding on further cultivation. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know each report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1242. Bayun Peak now has an abundance of spiritual energy, so it's possible to plan for several foundation establishment cave abodes. Lu Changxing withdrew his gaze, looking toward the spirit vein of Bayun Peak, contemplating silently. The spirit vein of Bayun Peak, upgraded to a second-ranked top grade, not only has its overall spiritual energy density increased, but the Xintian spiritual vine rooted upon the vein also thrived a bit more, exuding pure and rich spiritual energy. In such a situation, it is possible to connect to the spirit vein and establish multiple foundation establishment cave abodes for the family members to cultivate in. After all, previously, there weren't enough foundation establishment cave abodes to go around in the family. Therefore, no cave abode had been allocated to the children. They were each given a small wooden hut in the Mount Sumeru cave heaven. It's a pity that I can't see the state of destiny. I don't know how much effect the promotion of the spirit vein has on gathering destiny. With sparkling eyes, Lu Changxing gazed at the Xintian spiritual vine, brimming with vitality like green jade, flowing with profound spiritual mechanisms, and contemplated silently. After assessing for a moment, Lu Changxing returned to the Lu family mansion. Husband, what are the names of these 2 small peaks? Chu Zhenjin, dressed in a pale pink skirt, with a gentle and lovely face, possessing both the innocence of a young girl and the charm of a young wife, asked Lu Changxing. Names? Zhenjin, do you have any ideas? Lu Changxing was quite indifferent about the naming of these peaks. After a brief discussion, the 2 peaks were named Xuanfu Peak and Balian Peak. Xuanfu hints at auspicious signs from heaven. The Blue Lake Mountain Lu family is renowned for the talisman path, so the new spirit veins being cultivated in the family should also bear some relation to the talisman path. As for Balian Peak, it was where Lu Changxing planned to integrate the earthly fire vein he had acquired into this peak, constructing alchemy and artifact refining workshops. After naming the 2 peaks, Lu Changxing asked his son Lu Xingyang to start planning the development of the 2 small peaks, and then called for his son Lu Yun. Sir, the novel Fire Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Now that the spirit vein has formed, naturally heaven and earth spiritual plants can be planted for the cultivation of the heavenly longevity technique. Although the 2 small peaks are only first-grade high-quality spirit veins, incapable of sustaining third-rank heaven and earth spiritual plants, the spirit veins of the small peaks are not independent, they're connected to Bayun Peak, and can draw upon its spiritual mechanisms. Moreover, Lu Changxing intends to continue investing spiritual vein origin into the 2 small peaks, so maintaining the vitality of the spiritual trees should not be a big problem. Furthermore, he has Lu Miaoyun, Lu Miaohuan, and Chu Zhenjin in the family. As long as there is no major issue with the spirit plants, the three women can stabilize their life forces through the heavenly longevity technique. Greetings, Father. Having heard Lu Changsheng's call, Lu Yun quickly arrived to greet him. In my possession are 3 heaven and earth spiritual plants. One is called the dragon blood tree, another the fire mulberry tree, and the third the golden fire vine tree. You may choose one of them to cultivate the heavenly longevity technique, Lu Changsheng said as he flicked his fingers, conjuring a water mirror that displayed images of the 3 heaven and earth spiritual plants, allowing Lu Yun to make his choice. 3 plants, surprise crossed Lu Yun's heart. He knew the value of heaven and earth spiritual plants. He never expected that his father would possess 3 of them. Looking at the 3 spirit trees before him, Lu Yun thought for a moment and then made a respectful inquiry. Father, what are the effects and characteristics of these 3 spirit trees? If we are speaking of appearance, the golden fire vine tree is the most attractive, followed by the fire mulberry tree, and lastly, the dragon blood tree. After deciding to cultivate the heavenly longevity technique, his mother, Lu Miaoyun, had detailed the intricacies of this cultivation technique. He knew that the effects and characteristics of the technique were closely related to one's lifespan spiritual plant. So, given the choice, he naturally would not only consider the outward appearance but also sought to choose a lifespan spiritual plant that more closely matched his own. Effects and characteristics? Lu Changsheng pondered slightly and then explained, this dragon blood tree was originally a 1,000-year iron tree, nourished and transformed by Jiaolong blood and flesh, containing the origin source of the Jiaolong. Therefore, if used in artifact refining, its power and effectiveness are extraordinary. If used to cultivate the heavenly longevity technique, it might somewhat benefit one's physical body strength. The fire mulberry tree is a fire attribute heaven and earth spiritual plant. Cultivating fire attribute techniques nearby would be twice as effective. If used for the heavenly longevity technique, one should be able to obtain fire-related abilities. The golden fire vine tree lies somewhere in between, as a heaven and earth spiritual plant with metal and fire attributes. Lu Changsheng succinctly introduced the 3 spiritual trees' effects. He naturally knew that after foundation establishment with the heavenly longevity technique, a foundation establishment seed would be condensed. However, he did not know the abilities and effects of the foundation establishment seed condensed by these 3 spiritual trees. Father, I choose the dragon blood tree, Lu Yun stated after listening. He planned to refine the heavenly longevity technique, achieve foundation establishment, and then, like his father, begin to have many children. The fire mulberry tree and the golden fire vine tree were not much help in this regard. The dragon blood tree, transformed from Jiaolong blood and flesh nourishment, if it could enhance physical strength, that might be somewhat beneficial for his future. The dragon blood tree, Lu Changsheng chuckled upon hearing his son's prompt decision. Having broken through core formation and awakened the Tai divine soul, even without deliberate focus, he could still capture some emotional and spiritual fluctuations of his children. Thus, through his son's words, he roughly guessed the latter's intentions. All right, since that is the case, let us plant this dragon blood tree on top of Xuanfu Peak, Lu Changsheng said with a smile. He then led Lu Yun, Lu Miaoyun, and Chu Zhenjin to the summit of Xuanfu Peak. Ling Zixiao was not at home. Arranging formations indeed posed some inconvenience. Therefore, Lu Changsheng directly deployed a small reversed 5 elements array he carried with him to shield the surroundings, and then extracted the dragon blood tree from the system space. This dragon blood tree bore some resemblance to the luminous treasure tree, with no leaves but branches gleaming with dark gold luster. The patterns on the tree's surface were twisted and meandering, resembling a ferocious and terrifying flood dragon coiled around it, quite intimidating. If you find any errors, ads pop-up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know each report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1243. At the very instant the dragon blood tree appeared, an invisible oppressive aura pervaded the air, startling Lu Yun beside it as if he were facing some terrifying fierce beast. Seeing this, Lu Changsheng flicked a finger and dissipated this pressure for his son, saying, "This dragon blood tree is nurtured with the blood and flesh of a Jiaolong, thus it bears a touch of dragon's might. On normal days, just try getting used to it. But if you really can't bear it, bow in the direction of Baiyun Peak and call for Elder Mount Sumru. It will lift this mightiness for you," Lu Chongqing said to his son. In his view, the aura of the dragon blood tree was quite beneficial. It would be good to let the children of the family come and experience it. If they could adapt to such pressure, even an energy-refining cultivator would be able to face a foundation establishment cultivator's spiritual pressure head-on. "Yes, father." Lu Yun looked at the dragon blood tree before him, delighted at heart, thinking to himself that this truly was worthy of a third-rank heaven and earth spiritual plant. Afterward, Lu Chongqing planted the dragon blood tree and had Lu Miaoyun and Chu Zhenjin stabilize the vitality of the spirit plant. Then he handed the array plate of the small reversed 5 elements formation to his son, Lu Yun, so he could come over and refine the spirit plant by himself on regular days. Having dealt with Lu Yun's matters, Lu Chongqing then integrated a clump of spiritual vein origin and earth sha fire vein into Xuanfu Peak and Balian Peak, respectively. After finishing these tasks, he took Lu Miaoyun and Chu Zhenjin back to the mansion to relax and continue with his own business of child rearing, Julian Mountain, in a stretch of mountains dozens of miles away. A trading caravan was encamped here. If it weren't for the Sima family having set up the formation in advance, it would be somewhat troublesome to set up a high-rank formation during this period. Ling Zixiao held an array plate, leading Lu Lingxiao and several Lu family disciples as they arranged the formation. As they detected that Sima Shu had set up a formation here in advance for an ambush, she simply modified the existing formation, allowing the formation to take shape quickly. "Rui sister, what is this?" Inside the compartment, Lu Lingyi and Lu Rui were sorting through the storage bags of the Sima Sijia, occasionally taking out an item and asking her sister. If Lu Rui didn't recognize something, she would then ask their mother, Ling Zixiao. "This is a half-segment of ghost spirit vine, probably worth around 700 spirit stones." After looking it over for a moment, Lu Rui spoke. Since the family had arranged for her to manage business matters, she had spent considerable time identifying heavenly and earthly treasures over the years. Ghost spirit vine, 700 spirit stones. Lu Lingyi nodded her little head, then took out her notebook, illustrated the ghost spirit vine, and noted the price. Ghost spirit vine is quite beneficial for Yin spirits and ghost cultivators. Little Un could probably use it. "Xiaohe, give this ghost spirit vine to your big brother later." Lu Rui had seen the ghost slave that accompanied their eldest brother and continued to speak. "Yes, yes." Lu Lingyi nodded her little head and placed the half-segment of ghost spirit vine into her storage bag. After a while, the sisters finished sorting through the storage bags of the Sima Sijia. Spirit stones, spiritual artifacts, elixir medicines, spiritual medicines, and other heavenly and earthly treasures amounted to a total value of nearly 300,000 spirit stones. After Lu Rui calculated everything, she felt somewhat dazed. After all, it had been decades since she'd seen so many spirit stones. An ordinary foundation establishment family, excluding various expenses, would consider an annual profit of 10,000 spirit stones as quite good. Even if they set up a trading caravan, a single trade journey would only yield a surplus of around 10,000 spirit stones. Lu Rui felt a wave of emotion in her heart. Suddenly, she understood why at every stage of cultivation, energy refining, foundation establishment, core formation, there were always robber cultivators. Because earning money through hard work, no matter how diligent, was nowhere near as fast as robbing. For this caravan journey of 4 months, we earned a little over 2,000 spirit stones. Brother dealt with these people along the way and the spirit stones he gained are almost 400,000. Could this be the real reason father established the caravan? Lu Rui pondered suddenly. However, she immediately shook her head to dismiss the thought. Her father was a man of integrity and gentle nature, like a modest gentleman. How could he possibly accumulate wealth in such a way? Moreover, those they encountered and eliminated along the way were the ones who sought trouble with them first, attacking as soon as they met. Sarch * the novel, F. Iyer. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Even with families like the Lingxi family, as long as they were not overly aggressive, her eldest brother would not strike harshly. Sometimes, Lu Rui would lament that her brother was too upright, inheriting this trait from their father. Auntie. Lu Rui came out of the carriage and reported the sordid gains to Ling Zixiao. That's some wealth, Ling Zixiao heard and laughed softly, not too moved by the 300,000 spirit stones. After all, the family had been spending money like water over the years. 300,000 spirit stones was hardly a significant sum. It only meant that the Sima Sijie were relatively well off among family cultivators. Yet in the eyes of a loose cultivator, it hardly lived up to the reputation of these four. Rui, thank you for your hard work. Later, after your brother has made his selection, the rest should be converted into family contribution value, Ling Zixiao said. Currently, Bihu Lake Mountain had a family contribution system in place. It appeared somewhat perfunctory, however. The main reason was that Lu Changxing provided too many benefits. In other powers, family disciples had to earn breakthrough elixirs and foundation establishment elixirs through contributions and competition. Whereas in Bihu Lake Mountain, as long as one reaches the peak of qi refining, they can directly receive rare pills like the Foundation Establishment Elixir and Three Suns Elixir. For some who perform outstandingly or those favored by Lu Changxing, they receive a pile of good things without spending any contribution values. Because of this, the family contribution system was merely a family welfare for the Lu family disciples. Through family missions, the contribution points obtained enable family members to enjoy discounts when purchasing rare elixirs, magic artifacts, and talismans that are uncommon on ordinary days. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know each report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1244, Okay. Lu Rui nodded and asked if there was anything he could help with regarding the formation. Several days later. Near Julian Mountain. What's going on? Why has the Lu family caravan stopped moving? Could it be that they have given up? That shouldn't be the case. There seemed to be no losses in the Lu family caravan previously. I saw the Sima family going to trouble the Lu family caravan just before. Why is it suddenly so quiet? Not just the Sima family, I heard that the Lingxi Xia family, Dayuan Mountain Yuan family, and Shinfeng Valley Feng family all had made moves, but there has been no follow-up news. Could it be that all their interceptions failed? Lost face, so they remain silent? That's unlikely. This caravan isn't led by Lu Changxing and Lu Miaoge personally. Due to the incident at the Red Leaf Valley Market, many Foundation establishment powers gave up on ambushing the Lu family caravan, but they still sent people to keep an eye on the situation. These past days, seeing the sudden inactivity of the Lu family caravan, everyone was puzzled. But they, fearing trouble, dared not get too close and were also unaware of the situation. What's going on? Isn't it the Sima Sijie from the Sima family who took action? With those four personally intervening, why is there still no movement? A cultivator dressed in a gray robe was puzzled. He hailed from Golden Dragon Ridge, thus he knew the Sima family would make a move. Previously, he had also heard about the Sima Sijie planning an ambush in Julian Mountain. But seeing that there's been no activity for so long, he couldn't help but wonder. While these powers were filled with doubt, thinking whether to approach and probe. Screech. A dark shadow was seen soaring towards the direction of Julian Mountain from afar in the sky, accompanied by a high-pitched cry. The shadow grew larger and larger, causing the sky to roar with hurricanes and the clouds to look bleak. Search *the Novel Fire, net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Upon closer inspection, it was a majestic, mighty eagle with black feathers. On the eagle's back, one could vaguely see two figures standing. Which power is this? Could it also be coming for the Lu family caravan? This eagle, it somewhat resembles the black-scaled eagle of the Sima family. Some cultivator recognizing the black divine eagle speculated it could be the spiritual beast of the Sima family. However, considering that the Sima Sijia had already taken action earlier, it was uncertain if this was the Sima family's black-scaled eagle. Meanwhile, at the Lu family caravan's camp. They're coming. Patriarch Sima, maybe, Ling Zixiao and Lu Pingan both sensed something and looked towards the sky. Seeing a black hawk rushing in their direction with a menacing presence. Lu Rui, Lu Lingxiao, Zhou Datong, and other disciples of the Lu family also looked up at the sky, observing the increasingly large hawk. A false core true master, perhaps. This hawk appears quite extraordinary. It might be a second-order top-level monster beast. Apart from Ling Zixiao, everyone else felt a bit tense, as if facing a formidable enemy. Even Lu Pingan was somewhat nervous, unsure whether he could handle it. But alongside the nerves, Lu Pingan also felt a mixture of anticipation and excitement. Curious to see the gap in strength between himself and a false core true master. On the black-scaled eagle, Patriarch Sima extended his divine sense to search the surroundings for the whereabouts of the Lu family caravan. Moments later, he saw the Lu family caravan camped in the distance, and his anger surged. Based on previous information, the Lu family caravan should have moved far away by now. Staying here meant they had not moved for a long time. Does this mean the Lu family caravan was waiting for him to arrive? Very well, what a cunning Blue Lake Mountain Lu family. Patriarch Sima's face darkened, and his eyes filled with murderous intent as though he felt provoked, leading the black-scaled eagle to descend towards the location of the Lu family caravan. Profound Martial Ridge, False Core Patriarch Sima Tong, Third Elder Sima Tai. Moments later, as Lu Rui recognized the two people on the eagle's back, his pupils shrank sharply. He immediately transmitted a message to his elder brother to inform him about these two. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know it report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1245, Lu Changsheng, Come Out. Patriarch Sima in a black robe, with a stern face, didn't even glance at Ling Zixiao, directly raised his hand, his pseudo-Dan level mana spiritual pressure spreading, and struck towards the merchant convoy with a palm. Boom! With a casual strike from the false core Immortal, the mana surged like a mountain torrent, forming the outline of a giant palm. Humph! Not far away, the tall and sturdy Lu Pingan snorted coldly, leaving an afterimage in his original spot, his fist gleaming with golden light, smashing Patriarch Sima's attack. Lu Pingan knew that this was not the time for words. After breaking the attack, he shot forward, closing in on Patriarch Sima, his golden fist emanating wild wind and thunder, continuing to strike out. Not good. Patriarch Sima and the three elders of the Sima family who accompanied him were all startled, not expecting Lu Pingan in front of them to be so fierce. However, Patriarch Sima, after all, being a false core immortal, was extraordinary, and in the instant Lu Pingan attacked, he exhaled deeply. A stream of dark light flew out, turning into an ancient black ruler, filled with the aura of magical treasures. Bang! Lu Pingan's golden fist struck directly on the black ruler, causing a loud noise, mana energy surging outward like a landslide and tsunami in all directions. Screech! The black-scaled eagle beneath Patriarch Sima cried out at once, spreading its wings. If it weren't for Patriarch Sima suppressing it, it might have flown away in fright at that moment. Not far away, Ling Zixiao formed a gesture incantation with both hands, creating a bright blue light barrier in front of him, blocking the aftershocks. So this is a false core immortal. Big Brother actually crossed fists with a false core immortal. Lu Rui, Lu Lingxiao, Zhou Datong, and others witnessing this scene, were all shocked, somewhat dazed. Even though they knew Lu Pingan's combat power was extraordinary, seeing him confront Patriarch Sima directly still shocked them. Go big pot. Not far away, Lu Lingyi, unaffected by the atmosphere, without much concept of a false core immortal, cheered for Lu Pingan with her little fists clenched. Who are you? The ruler in front of Patriarch Sima flowed with dark light, exuding a heavy and vast aura like a mountain. After a brief exchange, he saw that Lu Pingon in front of him was extraordinary. This physique, likely a quasi-third-order body refiner. If he didn't have a magical treasure, this punch might have severely injured him. Blue Lake Mountain, Lu Pingon. Lu Pingon, with a resolute face, his angular features determined, said solemnly. In his words, his fists glimmered with brilliant golden treasure light, continuing to strike out. Each punch brought an astonishing momentum, like a mountain roar or tsunami, stacking up layers of wind and thunder energy. Lu Pingon. Sar the novel _fire. Et website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Patriarch Sima seldom paid attention to affairs and had not heard of the name Lu Pingon, unaware when Blue Lake Mountain had produced such a person. Lu Pingon, you are Lu Changsheng's eldest son. Lu Pingon, how could you possibly have such strength? Sima Tai, who recognized Lu Pingon, hearing this, suddenly exclaimed aloud. In earlier rumors, this eldest son of the Lu family was only at the initial stage of foundation establishment, but due to being a second-order middle-stage body refiner, his combat strength was extraordinary. But now, to withstand a magical treasure from his own patriarch through sheer physicality. This level of body refining, even if not quasi-third order, would be second-rank peak, wouldn't it? Screech, the black-scaled eagle beneath them cried out again under such pressure. This battle was turning its body into a battlefield. Although it was extraordinary, as a second-rank late-stage demon beast, it still struggled to withstand the aftershocks at such close range. Chi. Seeing this, Patriarch Sima used a hand to form a gesture incantation. The black ruler in front of him spun incessantly, its dark light flowing, bursting with a horrifying aura like the abyss, and then striking towards Lu Pingon in front of him. Boom! Although the ruler looked small and delicate, its strike could split mountains and overturn seas. Bang! At this time, Lu Pingon's physique fully recovered, his towering body surged a bit higher, his chi blood roaring and surging like rivers, with smoke of blood rolling straight into the sky above his head. His right arm's muscles rose like dragon snakes, accompanied by infinite and surging violent strength. He struck out. Boom, boom, boom. The collision of the mountain tsunami-like golden treasure light and the abyss-like dark divine light exploded, making the area seem like it was exploding. Is this a battle at the pseudo-Dan level? Even separated by the formation, Lu Rui, Lu Lingxiao, and others were terrified. This esteemed eldest son of the Lu family actually possesses pseudo-Dan combat power. After this battle, the Qingyun region's 6 false core families will likely count one more, the Blue Lake Mountain Lu family. Zhou Datong's throat was dry, thankful that this eldest son was kind-hearted. Otherwise, if the opponent made a killing move, with one punch, it would have been over for him. So this is Pingon's combat power. No wonder Lord said with Pingon around, there will be no trouble. Ling Zixiao looked at the two combatants, her graceful face revealing a smile. She had been worried before that Lu Pingon, facing an old-look established false core from the Sima family, would find the gap too large. But with a magical treasure by Patriarch Sima's side, even if Lu Pingon had the upper hand initially, he was still no match for Patriarch Sima. Under the endless, like a torrential sea, the terrifying dark light, Lu Pingon's figure stepped back several steps. You all retreat. Patriarch Sima also looked serious, speaking to Sima Tai beside him, asking him to take the black-scaled eagle aside to plunder formation. Otherwise, in their clash, he'd have to be distracted protecting another person and beast. Is it you who killed the pride of my Sima family? Patriarch Sima's deep and intimidating eyes looked at Lu Pingon. With such a disturbance, Lu Changsheng and Lu Miaoga hadn't appeared yet. He realized that Sima Bo and his 4 likely died at the hands of Lu Pingon in front of him. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1246. Lu Pingon remained silent. Qi and blood roared within his body, his organs resonated with metallic sounds, and his heart thumped like the drumbeats of gods and demons. invoking the pseudo-divine abilities condensed by the 100 Refinements treasure body art to push his physical body to the extreme. Otherwise, in his current state, he knew that defeating Patriarch Sima was impossible. What, your Sima family ambushed the Lu family caravan, and I've yet to seek an explanation from you on behalf of Bai Lake Mountain, yet you wish to accuse us instead? Ling Zixiao spoke up from the side, her calm and indifferent voice carrying an indescribable authority, showing no sign of weakness in the face of this false core immortal. While speaking, one of her hands held a glowing array plate, the other formed gesture incantations. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, the ground beneath the formation trembled as talismans broke through the soil, arranged in all directions, their energies interweaving, creating a formidable array. She had spent a great deal of time and effort in her early years studying the art of talisman formations, combining them with her own array techniques. Anticipating the visit from the false core patriarch of the Sima family, she had embedded some talismans into the underground formation in advance to prevent the enemy from being on guard when she deployed the talismans during combat. Talisman formation. The talisman formation art of Lu Changsheng. Patriarch Sima and Sima Tai were both startled at the sight of those countless talismans. After all, the art of talisman formations had no small reputation in the cultivation world. And Bai Lake Mountain was also well known for its mastery of talisman formation art. Now that they witnessed Ling Zixiao deploying such a method, the two were naturally surprised. Talisman formation, Lu Lingxiao, having heard his mother discuss the knowledge of talisman formations before, guessed that his mother was proficient in it. Auntie can use talisman formations too? Lu Rui was somewhat astonished, not knowing that her aunt also possessed her father's art of talisman formations. Wind fire sky screening great formation. Ling Zixiao's mind stirred, and 365 talismans formed a formation with the surge of wind and fire, screening off the sky in all directions, enveloping Lu Pingan, Patriarch Sima, Sima Tai, and the black-scaled eagle within. It seems that this is how you slew our family's proud son, using such means. Well then, go to hell for this old patriarch. Number 3, take action. Patriarch Sima, upon seeing this situation, was completely unafraid. The art of talisman formations was indeed astonishing. But his journey to becoming Sima Tong didn't involve only virtuous feats. Moreover, not only was he present, but also Sima Tai, at the 8th layer of foundation building, and a black-scaled eagle, a spiritual beast of second-rank late stage. Mountain shaking fist, thunderclap. Lu Pingan, seeing that the talisman formation was complete, didn't hesitate for a moment. His silver armor surfaced on his body, and his fists radiated golden brilliant light, striking towards Patriarch Sima like thunder and lightning. Ling Zixiao had already discussed this battle with him earlier. Now that the talisman formation was established and sealed off heaven and earth, the two fighting would be in his favor. Number 3, you and the shadow break the formation. Patriarch Sima commanded, his hands forming gesture incantations, as a dusky ruler shone with roving light, complex runes surfacing upon it, exuding tremendous might as they were cast towards Lu Pingan. Sar the Novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Simultaneously, from his storage ring, a cyan bowl-shaped object hovered above his head, its aura flowing like a coiled tortoise and snake, guarding him. Yes, second uncle. Sima Tai patted his belly, summoning a diamond-shaped spiritual artifact and fetched a purple mirror. This mirror had the ability to break through illusions, geared to find weak points of the talisman formation, and thereby shattering the talisman. Still trying to break the formation? Ling Zixiao's beautiful eyes were clear and spirited, her dignified and elegant posture now imbued with an air of intimidating majesty. Instantly, talismans vibrated, stirring the wind and fire like a wind-fire flood dragon, ferociously launching towards Sima Tai and the black-scaled eagle, displaying their fearsome form. Screech! The black-scaled eagle let out a mournful cry. Caught in the talisman formation, its large form and lack of magical artifacts rendered it like a stationary target. Its wings spread wide, attempting to break the formation, yet they were charred black by the wind and fire. Damn it, how does every member of Bai Lake Mountain have so many second-rank talismans? Sima Tai, through his purple mirror's reflection, found that Ling Xixiu's talismans were of extremely high quality, nearly 100 of them being second rank. Their energies were so well integrated that they left no room for exploitation, rendering him unable to break through. Number 3, hold on for now, her talismans won't last long, Patriarch Sima remarked, seizing the black-scaled eagle back into the spiritual pet bag, speaking to Sima Tai. He too realized the might of this talisman formation was not simple. But depending on external objects, I want to see how many talismans you have. Patriarch Sima glanced at Ling Zixiao and snorted coldly. Then, he continued to look at Lu Pingan, saying, if you had magical treasures by your side, it might be difficult for me to slay you today. But with bare hands and relying on just your physical body, you seek to forcefully confront the magic artifact of this old patriarch, it's simply courting death. With those words, the leveling ruler shone with spiritual light, its might surging as it continuously smashed towards Lu Pingan. At the same time, his hands ceaselessly formed gesture incantations, sending wave after wave of soul-shaking darkness towards Lu Pingan. Open mountain, overturn river, wind and thunder, thunderclap. Lu Pingan's expression unchanged, his spine undulated like an azure dragon, his body shining brightly, every cell bursting with violent energy, causing his veins to swell prominently. This was his first time fighting with such full force, using this battle to test his own strength. Boom boom boom. Lu Pingan's fists and feet moved, simple movements felt like the attack of thousands of troops and horses combined. Yet no matter how fierce his offense, Patriarch Sima's leveling ruler remained like a timeless divine peak before him, too difficult to surpass. However, facing Lu Pingan's onslaught, even Patriarch Sima was inwardly shaken. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know it report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1247, unable to discern what kind of body refinement technique the opponent was cultivating, it was exceptionally domineering. Each move and style seemed to possess a bit of the power of magical treasures. Such a commotion is astonishing. Did the black-scaled eagle just head towards the Lu family caravan? Could it be that this black-scaled eagle really belongs to the Sima family, and it's going to intercept the Lu family caravan? Wasn't it just recently that the Sima Sijia were planning to make a move on by Lake Mountain? Could it be that the Sima Sijia failed to intercept them? This level of commotion feels beyond a normal Foundation establishment battle. Meanwhile, near Julian Mountain, many from different forces noticed the spot where Patriarch Sima fell and, facing the direction of the intense commotion coming from afar, speculated about what was happening. As the battle continued for a long while, some cultivators couldn't hold back their curiosity, approached cautiously, and wanted to see what was happening. Talisman formation, Ling Zixiao, the lady of the Lu family, actually knows the art of talisman formation too. Who is fighting in this talisman formation? It's astonishing. This is Sima Tai from the Sima family's 3 elders. Who are these 2 people? The one in the silver armor is Lu Pingan from By Lake Mountain. Isn't he at the middle stage of second-order body refinement? Something seems odd here. Who is the elder battling him? Some cultivators reached a few miles away from the Lu family caravan's encampment, watching the battle from afar, deeply shocked. Lu Rui and Zhou Datong, seeing this, immediately soared into the sky, guarding from both sides to prevent any cultivators from sneaking closer. Lu Lingxiao stood guard next to his own mother. Ling Zixiao was deploying the talisman formation, and it would be dangerous if someone approached and attacked. But only Ling Zixiao knew that inside their carriage sat a seductively beautiful woman. As long as Lu Pingan faced danger, the Thousand Faces puppet fox would immediately take action. Boom boom boom, inside the talisman formation, the roaring sounds were ceaseless. Lu Pingan and Patriarch Sima continuously bombarded each other. Whenever Lu Pingan was at a disadvantage, Ling Zixiao would intervene through the talisman formation to alleviate some pressure on him. CTH Nafire. Et website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Damn this talisman formation. Patriarch Sima was extremely frustrated in his attacks. If it were a one-on-one fight with Lu Pingan, he was confident he could defeat him. But fighting like this, a swirling tempest of thunderfire would suddenly strike him, which was incredibly frustrating. He glanced over at Sima Tai. Seeing him enveloping himself with a bronze bell to dodge the offensive power of the talisman formation, he felt a mix of disappointment and frustration. "Younger brother, take action," he shouted loudly, signaling Sima Tai to help share some pressure. If Sima Tai could withstand most of the talisman formation's assaults and deplete it, he believed he could assure the defeat of Lu Pingan. "Yes, second uncle," Sima Tai wanted to refuse, indicating not to trouble him. But since his own ancestral master had spoken, he dared not disobey. Immediately, he made a gesture incantation, mana surged, and he suspended the bronze bell above his head, driving his life-bound spiritual artifact towards Lu Pingan. "You dare to show yourself, seeking death." Seeing this, Ling Zixiao snorted coldly, hands forming gesture incantations. In an instant, within the talisman formation, winds and fire swept across, vines grew wildly, and frost descended from the sky, targeting Sima Tai. "Ah, second uncle, save me." Sima Tai hurriedly pushed the bronze bell to its limits, shrouded with strands of gray mist. Yet even so, he still felt a mix of cold and hot sensations, with vines binding his legs. Damn it. Patriarch Sima, seeing this, had to split his focus, sending a spell to relieve Sima Tai from the talisman formation's assault. However, at that instant, Lu Pingan seized the opportunity. His fists, golden and overflowing with storm through, created numerous afterimages, hammering towards the leveling ruler. Boom, 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 as if heaven and earth were being destroyed, the strength of the punches made the magical treasure continuously tremble, causing the face of this true pill master, Patriarch Sima, to suddenly turn white as he hastily drove his own life-bound magic treasure. How many talismans does this woman have in her hands? Patriarch Sima, seeing Ling Zixiao occasionally replenishing talismans, also realized that it might be challenging to withstand until the talismans were depleted. "Break the formation, let's go." Immediately, he made up his mind, preparing to break the formation and escape with Sima Tai. Pingan. Ling Zixiao instantly recognized his intention and alerted Lu Pingan. Lu Pingan, moving like a dragon, his silver armor showing several damages. But his muscles still shone brilliantly, as if forged from gold, with a silhouette of a black dragon faintly visible around him. At this moment, his black dragon codex, along with the 100 Refinements treasure body art running at its peak, caused his black dragon Dao foundation and foundation establishment power to surge, sensing an opportunity to break through from the initial stage of foundation establishment to the middle stage. "Fellow Taoists, please stop, I came here on an important matter to discuss." Patriarch Sima, seeing Lu Pingan in front of him like a war god, unstoppable, still decided to speak from his heart. Otherwise, continuing to battle like this, even if he could break the talisman formation and escape, he would still be severely injured and pay a great price. This false core patriarch, is he admitting defeat? Lu Rui, Zhou Datong, and others hearing this, looked towards Patriarch Sima within the talisman formation, their expressions somewhat dazed, thinking they had misheard. After all, this was a false core patriarch. Even though they knew their older brother was extremely powerful in battle and saw their aunt deploying formations, it still seemed unbelievable. Important matter to discuss? Ling Zixiao, hearing this, had a cold gaze, scoffed. Without stopping her hands, one talisman after another blended into the talisman formation, continuing to bombard Patriarch Sima. "You presumptuous maid. You've gone too far." Patriarch Sima burst out in anger. He, a high and mighty false core patriarch, was willing to lower his head and give way, but Ling Zixiao, a mere foundation establishment cultivator, was humiliating him like this. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know, report, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1248, his eyes brimming with murderous intent, he looked at Ling Zixiao and took out 2 talismans from his storage ring. Upon activation of the two talismans, one of them formed a layer of dazzling golden light, enveloping his entire body in protection. The other talisman transformed into a gigantic fireball, a full 10 feet in diameter, and charged towards the talisman formation. These were third-rank talismans he had spent a great deal of money to procure for self-defense. He hoped to use the talismans to break the talisman formation and thus slay Ling Zixiao. As long as Ling Zixiao was dead, he was confident he could deal with Lu Pingan. Third-rank talismans. Ling Zixiao had already anticipated that a false core patriarch like Sima Tong would have plenty of tricks up his sleeve, so he immediately cast a talisman towards the talisman formation. This talisman was extraordinary, clearly exuding the aura of a third-rank talisman. Boom boom boom, as the wind and fire sky covering formation absorbed this third-rank talisman, it instantly turned into rolling thunder, extinguishing the fireball and then streaking towards Patriarch Sima. Patriarch Sima's face turned pale with shock at this display of power as he exclaimed, "Third-rank talismans. You must know, within the entire Jiang country cultivation realm, the number of third-rank talisman masters was countable on one hand. His few third-rank talismans were acquired at great cost. And now before him, Ling Zixiao too possessed third-rank talismans." Rumble. The Divine Thunder talisman broke through the fireball and bombarded Patriarch Sima, who quickly urged his bowl-shaped spiritual artifact to its limit, yet the resplendent golden sheen of his body dimmed significantly. Boom boom boom. Seeing this, Lu Pingan continued to advance and attack with overwhelming ferocity. CTH Nafire. Et website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Whoosh! Ling Zixiao formed a gesture incantation with both hands, integrating another third-rank talisman into the talisman formation, causing Patriarch Sima to shudder in terror. Ling Zixiao, is your by Lake Mountain truly intent on committing such an act of annihilation? Patriarch Sima immediately yelled out loud. At this moment, he was afraid. If Ling Zixiao had several more third-rank talismans, he might well meet his end here today. An act of annihilation? Your Sima family has repeatedly provoked my by Lake Mountain and intercepted the Lu family caravan. If we do not kill you today, where does the dignity of our by Lake Mountain stand? Ling Zixiao's hair was pinned up high, her brows fierce, radiating an inviolable and proud demeanor. If you kill me, it will be a fight to the death with the Sima family. Patriarch Sima continued to shout, trying to deter her with the threat of his family. The Sima family not only had two false core experts, but they also had significant ties within the Qinyan sect. Fight to the death? Today you bullied the weak with your strength, and later, I will personally go to your profound martial ridge with my lord to seek an explanation. I'd like to see if your profound martial ridge can withstand the onslaught of my lord's mountain-shaking formation and the thousand talisman great formation. It's also not a secret that my lord has been promoted to a third-rank talisman master, and I am curious just how many of his third-rank talismans your turtle shell can withstand. Ling Zixiao stood with dignity, her voice calm yet indifferent, exuding a lofty and authoritative grandeur that seemed to scornfully look down upon the world, possessing the power to grant life or deliver death. Third-rank talisman master. What? Lu Chongqing has been promoted to a third-rank talisman master. Patriarch Sima and Sima Tai, hidden inside the bronze bell, both had a drastic change in complexion and were startled. Although a third-rank talisman master was not the same as a nascent soul immortal. Even nascent soul immortals would give some respect to a third-rank talisman master. After all, they too needed third-rank talismans in their daily lives. Even if not for themselves, they might seek several of these for their descendants to carry for protection. Moreover, Lu Chongqing was no ordinary talisman master. He had inheritance in the talisman path and was adept at talisman formation techniques. If he was willing to spend a large number of third-rank talismans to set up a formation, false core immortals would be no match for him. No wonder this woman has so many talismans, including third-rank ones. So it turns out Lu Chongqing has ascended to a third-rank talisman master. Patriarch Sima was filled with regret. If he had known this information earlier, he would never have come here so rashly. At this point, he felt like he was stuck in a difficult situation. After all, If Lu Changxing was truly a third-rank talisman master, a clash between the two families could very well have an unpredictable outcome. This matter is our profound Marshall Ridge's fault. I implore Lady Lu to show mercy. Regarding today's affair, my Sima family is willing to offer compensation. Patriarch Sima, while wielding the leveling ruler to fend off Lu Pingan's assault and looking at the two third-rank talismans on the talisman formation, spoke with a somewhat hoarse voice. He knew that he had lost. To continue fighting would mean only to self-destruct his false core in a desperate struggle. Better to concede defeat early before getting seriously injured, and offer compensation. Moreover, he realized that since Ling Zixiao had not activated that third-rank talisman immediately, it indicated she had no intention of killing him outright. Bai Lake Mountain also did not want to utterly fall out with his family and end up in a full-scale fight. If the two families were to fully engage, it would only benefit other families who would watch with glee as both suffered serious damage. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know each report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1249. If your Sima family is willing to offer adequate compensation, the Lu family can accept negotiations and cease hostilities. Ling Zixiao's expression was cold and authoritative as she looked at Patriarch Sima inside the talisman formation, speaking indifferently. She didn't directly kill him, not because she feared a scenario where both parties would suffer extensively. Simply by having Lu Pingan suppress Patriarch Sima in front of her, to establish authority and then question the Sima family, was more in line with her family's interests. The Lu Family Commerce Association is currently facing several issues in opening up the market. With Lu Pingan serving as a publicly known false core level deterrent, things would go much smoother. Moreover, buying shops in the big marketplace is very troublesome. Because prime location shops are like cash cows, no one is willing to let them go. If one could go through the Sima family, it would be much simpler. Furthermore, among the 6 major families in the Qingyun region, aside from the Jin family which has a shallow foundation in Qingyun sect, the other 5 have been in business for over 100 years. If the killing process is too sensational, it may attract the attention of the Qingyun sect. This old man is willing to offer 300,000 spirit stones and equivalent heavenly and earthly treasures as compensation, Patriarch Sima said in a heavy tone. 300,000 spirit stones is not a small sum for any family. But he set this price, assuming that Ling Zixiao wouldn't actually want to fight with his family, and offering a way out would be enough. However, upon hearing this, Ling Zixiao immediately formed a gesture incantation with both hands, activating the third-rank talisman on the talisman formation, launching it towards Patriarch Sima. Boom! 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 Patriarch Sima hurriedly activated his spiritual artifact bowl to its limits to fend off the attack. But his bodily shields and the bowl were smashed to pieces by the Divine Thunder Talisman. Ling Zixiao, do not push me too far, this old man has already agreed to make reparations. If you push me into a corner, I would rather self-destruct my nascent soul. Patriarch Sima shouted angrily. Having his nascent soul seed killed and still having to apologize was already extremely humiliating for him. In such a situation, Ling Zixiao moved to brutal measures without further discussion. Did she really think he, the false core patriarch, had no pride? So he issued a fierce statement, vying for bargaining power. Self-destruct the nascent soul. On hearing this, Lu Rui, Zhou Datong, and Lu Lingxiao and the others at the side were all startled and frightened by Patriarch Sima's declaration. CTH Novelier. N.E.T. website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. A nascent soul cultivator's self-destruction is immensely destructive. Even though Patriarch Sima was a false core immortal, the self-destruction of the inner core would also be extraordinary. However, Ling Zixiao's countenance was ice-cold, completely unfazed by Patriarch Sima's words. Pushing too far? Your Sima family provokes and wishes to settle deep grudges with a mere 300,000 spirit stones. If word of this spreads, wouldn't it be known that my Bai Lake Mountain is easily bullied? So, those 300,000 spirit stones, Patriarch Sima, you can keep them for yourself. As for the self-destruction of the nascent soul, I'd like to see the power of your false core, Patriarch Sima, and whether it can break my talisman formation. Ling Zixio's eyes were bright and clear, her noble and elegant face radiating an inviolable sacred authority. The self-destruction of a nascent soul cultivator is indeed extraordinary. But how many can actually do what those light words convey? Even ants cherish their lives. Who would choose self-destruction without facing true desperation? Moreover, there's a saying in the cultivation world. When nascent soul cultivators die, they carry a wisp of their soul to reincarnate, possibly awakening their innate wisdom in the future and continuing their cultivation journey. But if they self-destruct, both the physical body and soul will perish with the nascent soul, erasing all traces from the world, forfeiting the possibility of reincarnation. Although to cultivators, reincarnation is elusive and its existence uncertain. Still, very few cultivators who have reached such a stage are willing to abandon the thought of reincarnation. Besides, Patriarch Sima showed his willingness to concede before he was seriously injured, which clearly showed he wasn't the resolute type to easily choose self-destruction. However, the confidence Ling Zixiao had in making such threats also came from the thousand faces puppet fox provided by Lu Chongsheng. Otherwise, if Patriarch Sima truly became desperate and self-destructed his false core, they would also be in great danger. As Ling Zixiao spoke, 3 more third-ranked talismans flew out of her sleeves. These 3 talismans did not integrate into the formation but simply hovered in front of her. Third-ranked talismans consume a lot of mana and divine sense. Her cultivation level being only at the 4th layer of foundation establishment, if not for her divine sense being comparable to the peak of foundation establishment, it would be difficult to control the talisman formation and activate third-ranked talismans simultaneously. Patriarch Sima, seeing these 3 talismans, had his eyes shrink sharply, and he said solemnly, "What compensation would Lady Lu require to cease hostilities?" "Your profound martial ridge will compensate with 1 million spirit stones, 3 spirit lands, and 30 shops in the marketplace of my choosing. Open all your trade nodes, and for the next 100 years, you are forbidden from retaliating against my by Lake Mountain." Ling Zixio's robes fluttered as her pleasing voice carried an undeniable authority. Gasp. Lu Rui, hearing this demand, turned to look at her aunt and took a sharp intake of breath. She remembered that the Sima family, including profound martial ridge, had only 6 spirit lands in total, and her aunt had asked for 3 right off the bat. Plus 1 million spirit stones and 30 marketplace shops, opening trade nodes. Even she felt that her aunt was asking for the moon. Impossible. Patriarch Sima immediately bellowed, his entire false core level spiritual pressure boiling over. If it weren't for Lu Pingan standing in front of him blocking his way to break the formation, he would have been desperate to smash Ling Zixiao to death. Such terms, she certainly had the audacity to demand. Even for a false core family like the Sima family, with 1,000 years of heritage and profound depths, it was impossible to produce 1 million spirit stones at once. Not to mention 3 spirit lands, 30 shops, and other humiliating agreements. Since it's impossible, then there is no need for further discussion. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know each report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1250. Ling Zixiao had not expected the other party to agree outright. Negotiations are, after all, a game of strategy between 2 sides. Once the other party is suppressed, terms can be discussed at leisure. In her words, a third-ranked talisman merged into the formation and charged towards Patriarch Sima. Boom! This assault from the talisman shattered the bow-like magical shield above Patriarch Sima's head, scorching his flesh and tearing his magical robe. Clang! Seizing the opportunity, Lu Pingan threw a golden punch with ferocious power, causing the leveling ruler before him to quiver and sending Patriarch Sima's internal mana and chi blood surging, spurting a trace of blood from his mouth. Buzzing, at this moment, a dense frost surged within the talisman formation, and vines stretched toward Patriarch Sima, intent on suppressing him. The Sima family is willing to offer 300,000 spirit stones and a spirit land. Patriarch Sima formed gesture incantations with both hands, and summoned a turtle shell magical treasure, creating a magical shield, while the leveling ruler in front of him pulsed with dark light and overwhelming force. He shouted loudly. Ling Zixiao stood tall, her skirts fluttering, unfazed, continuing her hand gestures with an imposing aura. And add 3 more upper-class shops. Although Patriarch Sima was conceding, his aura was not any weaker, exuding the dignity of a superior. Not enough. Ling Zixiao's expression was calm, her presence arrogant and peerless. Lu Rui, Lu Lingxiao, and others on the side watched with trepidation. This was a high and mighty false core immortal. The opponent had already shown weakness, yet her aunt, her mother, was still so imperious and unyielding. However, as Lu Lingxiao watched his mother's strong and imperious demeanor, looking down on all, he didn't know why, but a subtle excitement bloomed in his heart, as if a seed was sprouting. He felt that a great man should be just like this. False core immortals, is that all they are? With a faint golden gleam in his pupils, Lu Lingxiao gazed at Patriarch Sima within the formation and suddenly felt that false core immortals were not that remarkable. Even nascent soul immortals and core formation masters were merely a few levels higher in cultivation realm than he was. He would surpass them one day. Why should he feel they are lofty and untouchable or feel fear and awe just because their cultivation realm is higher? It's easy to break a thief in the mountains, but hard to break a thief in the heart. Lu Lingxiao murmured to himself as he remembered something his master had once said. Cultivation is about cultivating the mind. Sometimes, the strength of the spirit is more important than the level of cultivation. One can respect high-rank cultivators, but must not fear them. As thoughts swirled in his mind, Lu Lingxiao unexpectedly felt his dragon roar physique stir inexplicably, activating the vermilion bird sky-scorching art. Your Bihu mountain is insatiable, thinking you've got me pinned down. Today, this old man will self-destruct my core, no one will get off easily. Patriarch Sima was aware that the initiative was in Ling Zixiao's hands and that he had no bargaining power at all. Immediately, his face twisted into a ferocious snarl, as a terrifying might burst forth from his body like a rising sun. Pin gone, be careful. Ling Zixiao's calm and indifferent face changed slightly, not daring to gamble whether the opponent really intended to self-destruct his core formation. He immediately performed a gesture incantation, making the talisman formation display a sky-covering defensive stance. At this moment, Lu Pingan also activated a third-order defense talisman from within his chest. A third-rank talisman. Patriarch Sima's eyes narrowed slightly upon seeing Lu Pingan's actions, a hint of regret in his eyes. Following that, his eyes showed a ferocious light, causing the jet-black, dazzling ruler in front of him to explode like a dark sun. He did not self-destruct his false core. Instead, he chose to detonate the magic treasure leveling ruler. As a false core immortal, a venerable elder, would he really self-destruct his core formation together with a few foundation establishment cultivators, perishing together? Boom! The blinding black light flooded the talisman formation, and even with the protection of the third-rank defense talisman, Lu Pingan kept retreating, summoning a defensive magic artifact. Ling Zixiao hurriedly manipulated the array plate, sealing and suppressing this terrifying power. By his side, Lu Lingxiao, Lu Rui, and Zhou Datong also took action, trying their best to block the mana shockwaves leaking from the formation. Hoo, cough, cough, cough. Even with the shockwaves suppressed by Lu Pingan, Ling Zixiao, Lu Lingxiao, and the others, the commotion still caused the merchant caravan's pack animals and Lu family disciples to churn with chi blood, their faces turning pale. Such might, it's terrifying to this extent. The one battling Lu Pingan is indeed the Sima family's false core patriarch. A venerable false core patriarch has been pushed to such a state by the Lu family. The Lu family laid out the formation in advance and even had a talisman formation at hand, predicting that a false core immortal from the Sima family would come. It seems that the Sima CGM met their end at the hands of the Lu family, otherwise, the Sima family's false core immortal would not have easily taken action. Who would have thought that apart from being proficient in formations, this Ling Zixiao also understands the art of talisman formations. CTH Novel Fire. Enter website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. What's more, Lu Pingan has hidden his capabilities too well. His body refinement is actually strong enough to withstand a battle with a false core immortal. Observing cultivators from afar were all astonished and emotional in their hearts. If not for witnessing it with their own eyes, they would hardly believe the rumors that Lu Pingan, who was only at the Foundation establishment mid-stage in terms of fighting power, was able to stand against a false core immortal. Boom boom boom, at this moment, the talisman formation was riddled with holes due to the might of the magic treasure. Go! Patriarch Sima's face was pale, his breath weak, as he grabbed Sima Tai inside the bronze bell, looked at the shattered talisman formation, and transformed into a divine rainbow that shot out. The self-destruction of the magic treasure was indeed astounding, successfully breaking through the talisman formation. But the leveling ruler was his life-bound magic treasure. Its self-destruction also severely damaged his vital energy, wounding him to the core. Thinking of escaping, Ling Zixiao, who was currently in control of the Great Formation, immediately signaled the Thousand Faces puppet fox to take action. Buzz! In an instant, as Patriarch Sima, who had just broken through the talisman formation, felt as if a blunt knife was chopping at his mind, his mental spirit violently trembled, and he was thrown into a daze. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know your report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1251. What kind of trick is this? He had no time to think, hurriedly activating his cultivation technique to alleviate the dizziness and disorientation before continuing his escape. Ryup. Just then, Lu Pingan, his silver, tattered armor gleaming with golden light, shot toward them like a cannonball. Boom! Already frail, Patriarch Sima staggered from the impact, spewing a mouthful of fresh blood. Second uncle, leave now. Weakened and covered in wounds, Sima Tai clenched his teeth, enduring his injuries as he stepped in front of Lu Pingan. He could tell that his family's patriarch was at his limit. Under these circumstances, escaping together seemed impossible. If the patriarch were to be captured by Lake Mountain, or die at the hands of the Lu family, it would be a devastating blow to the family. Thus, for the sake of the family, he decided to sacrifice himself to buy time for the patriarch. Fine. The patriarch knew hesitation was not an option at this moment. He slapped his spiritual pet bag, summoning the black-scaled eagle, then fell to his knees on its back to escape. But just then, swish! Nearby, Lu Lingxiao's talisman treasure emanated a powerful wave of mana, revealing a jade-green dagger. Slash! The jade-green dagger shot out like an invisible ribbon, tearing through the void and slicing into the wing of Patriarch Sima's black-scaled eagle, splattering blood across the sky. The black-scaled eagle let out a mournful cry and nearly plummeted from the air. Its wings flapped frantically to continue flying, but its speed was noticeably slower. Damn it! Patriarch Sima turned back abruptly, his eyes bloodshot, brimming with killing intent as he glared at Ling Zixiao. He hadn't expected the opponent to possess such a variety of techniques beyond formations, talisman formations, and third-rank talismans. Not only had she harmed his divine sense, but she also wielded such top-level talisman treasures. Too bad my lord's Thousand Faces puppet fox cannot directly engage, or there wouldn't have been so much trouble. Ling Zixiao's beautiful eyes remained calm and indifferent as she gazed at Patriarch Sima. Currently, the Thousand Faces puppet fox was inside the carriage and could only attack through divine consciousness secret techniques. Moreover, it had to pose as an exotic treasure technique, which greatly reduced its power. If it could directly engage, Patriarch Sima could easily be trapped in the illusion realm. Kill! Lu Pingan charged at Sima Tai, who obstructed his path. Though fatigued and his mana unstable, Sima Tai's condition was far worse. With a punch, the bronze bell wielded by Sima Tai trembled violently. His already pallid complexion turned deathly white, blood flowing from his 7 orifices. Yet, he still commanded the bronze bell to block Lu Pingan, simultaneously utilizing a secret technique to suppress his own injuries and buy time for his family patriarch. Whoosh, Lu Lingxiao, holding the jade-green dagger talisman treasure, soared into the sky and charged at Sima Tai, shouting, "Big brother, leave this to us. Go after that old Sima thief." Lu Rui and Zhou Datong joined in, surrounding Sima Tai. Understood. Lu Pingan glanced in the direction of Patriarch Sima and shot off like a beam of golden light, tearing through layers of air with a deafening speed. Pingan, make a bigger commotion. Try to ensure more people see it, Ling Zixiao transmitted her voice to Lu Pingan as a reminder. After a brief pause for thought, she transmitted her voice to the Thousand Faces puppet fox as well and said, "Thousand Faces, be cautious. Follow Pingan closely and observe." With that, the Thousand Faces puppet fox silently followed behind Lu Pingan. Damn it. Patriarch Sima, slumped on the black-scaled eagle's back, saw Lu Pingan pursuing him and his expression turned grim. His palms surged with mana, channeling it into the black-scaled eagle, forcing the spiritual bird to accelerate forward. Seeing this, Lu Pingan retrieved a divine wind talisman from his storage bag. His resplendent golden body was instantly enveloped in a vortex of azure wind, and with a roaring airflow, he flashed across the sky as if streaking lightning, stirring up a massive whirlwind behind him as he sped toward Patriarch Sima. The surrounding cultivators of various factions were alarmed by the scene before them. No one had expected the Sima family's false core patriarch to end up in such a pitiful state. And now he was being hunted down by Lu Pingan. It was worth noting that this false core patriarch was renowned for his prowess. Unlike Jin Zan, who was a newly ascended false core cultivator. Regardless of whether they were aligned with the Sima family or bore grudges against by Lake Mountain, none thought to intervene. A battle of this magnitude was beyond their ability to meddle. Boom! Seeing an opportunity, Lu Pingan summoned the black dragon halberd and hurled it fiercely toward Patriarch Sima. Whoosh! The black dragon halberd flew like a coiled flood dragon, clawing and snapping with a terrifying momentum that caused the black-scaled eagle to roar in anguish, another wing bleeding profusely. Damn it! Patriarch Sima formed a gesture incantation and struck his chest, seemingly suppressing his bodous injuries. He then retracted the black-scaled eagle and turned into a streak of black divine rainbow, shooting off in retreat. Lu Pingan continued his relentless pursuit. A few moments later, Patriarch Sima realized he couldn't maintain his condition for long. In such an open sky, his flight made him a glaring target, and shaking off Lu Pingan seemed impossible. Determined, he plunged down toward the mountain ranges below. S.E.A. the Novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Lu Pingan saw this and pursued without hesitation. Landing amidst the dense forest, Lu Pingan scanned the surroundings but saw no trace or aura of Patriarch Sima. He realized that the opponent had used a secret technique to conceal his presence. Sweeping the area with his divine sense, he came up empty-handed. As expected of a false core master, truly adept in diverse techniques, Lu Pingan understood the adversary was still nearby. After some thought, he slapped his spiritual pet bag, summoning a massive golden rat. This was none other than the treasure-seeking mouse gifted to him by his father, Lu Changsheng. Have you caught this scent? Lu Pingan produced a fragment of the leveling ruler for the mouse, seeking Patriarch Sima's trail. Squeak squeak squeak, the seeking spirit mouse sniffed the fragment, then caught the traces of mana from their earlier battle, cautiously pointing toward a large tree ahead. If you find any errors, ads pop-up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know it report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1252, Boom. Sar the Novel, F. Iyer. And a website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Lu Pingan's fist, glowing with golden light, suddenly slammed towards the large tree ahead. Bang! The large tree exploded instantly, turning into a swirling rain of wood fragments. A streak of black shadow suddenly darted into the air, fleeing swiftly in another direction. Seeing this, Lu Pingon continued his pursuit. Just like that, the two figures chases each other relentlessly. 3,000 miles south of Julian Mountain, amidst endless mountains, stood a mid-sized marketplace called Misty Rain Market, established by two Foundation establishment loose cultivators as a base for itinerant cultivators. Though it was only a mid-sized marketplace, the two owners, being loose cultivators themselves, emphasized rules and proper management. Coupled with the plentiful demon beasts available for hunting in the surrounding vast mountains, the market was favored by many itinerant cultivators. Third Grandpa, I heard that owner Yen might have a chance to attain false core immortality in the future. Is that true? On a spirit boat, an elder stood with several young men and women. Among them, a young woman asked the elder. Owner Yen is indeed extraordinarily talented, having cultivated to Foundation Establishment's 6th layer at the age of 100. But to break through to false core, it is difficult, extremely difficult. Even if owner Yen reaches Foundation Establishment peak by the age of 150, breaking through to false core requires the aid of a third-order demon pill. Such a pill is not easily obtained. The elder shook his head as he replied. Owner Yen operates such a large marketplace, earning gold and spirit stones daily. Can't he afford a third-order demon pill? A young man exclaimed in surprise. Third-order demon pills are priceless, often auctioned for tens of thousands of spirit stones at least. The elder patted the youth's head and chuckled, saying, if they were easy to acquire, there wouldn't only be 6 false core families in the Qingyun region. Third Grandpa, then what about Lu Ancestor of Bai Lake Mountain? Could he have a chance to obtain a third-order demon pill and break through to false core? I heard that Lu Ancestor not only cultivates a dual cultivation technique with his Dao companion, comparable to a true pill master, but is also a second-grade talisman master and an alchemist. The young woman continued her inquiry. Currently, the name of Bai Lake Mountain was known throughout Qingyun region. Lu Mountain Lord likely has a considerable chance. The elder stroked his beard and said slowly, but when a tree stands above the forest, it invites the wind. Bai Lake Mountain has risen too quickly and its momentum is too strong. Now establishing a chamber of commerce, it is bound to attract targeted suppression from various family forces. Hence, Lu Mountain Lord's path to false core won't be easy. Moreover, it's rumored that Lu Mountain Lord has devoted all resources to nurturing the Foundation Establishment cultivators of his family, leaving no spirit stone reserves. This is why Bai Lake Mountain has been acting with such urgency lately. At his age, he enjoyed sharing past experiences and insights into the cultivation world with the younger generation of his family. Alright, we'll arrive at Misty Rain Market shortly. During the auction, don't speak out of turn, and if you have questions, ask me privately, the elder advised while gazing forward at the marketplace nestled among the mountains, its lights shimmering with spiritual energy. However, just as he finished speaking, an overwhelming and terrifying pressure suddenly spread in their direction. He turned his head to look. In the air, a streak of black light fled swiftly. Behind it, a thunderous golden glow followed closely. Boom! The black light, spotting the spirit boat, suddenly waved its hand. Even with such a simple motion, it unleashed a tide-like force that destabilized the spirit boat, flipping it over completely. Ah, Third Grandpa! The cultivators on the spirit boat cried out in alarm. At this moment, amidst the thunderous golden glow, a tall and burly youth clad in shattered silver armor revealed himself. With a gesture, he steadied the spirit boat and stabilized it before propelling himself swiftly forward, continuing his pursuit of the black glow. Gulp! Gulp! The youths and elder aboard the spirit boat all swallowed dryly, their faces filled with stunned disbelief and lingering fear. Third Grandpa, what just happened? After some time, a young man stared at the diminishing streaks of black and gold light, dazed and bewildered. The elder did not answer, he too was still rattled and unsettled. That person who steadied our spirit boat, I feel like I've seen him somewhere before. A young woman aboard the spirit boat swallowed hard and spoke hesitantly. After a long pause, she suddenly exclaimed in realization, "I remember now. He looks like Lu Pingon, the eldest son of Lu ancestor from Bai Lake Mountain." The two streaks of escape light, naturally, belonged to Patriarch Sima and Lu Pingon. In terms of escape techniques, Patriarch Sima usually far surpassed Lu Pingon. But now, Patriarch Sima had self-detonated his magical treasure, severely damaging his vital energy, and his speed had been greatly reduced. Although Patriarch Sima employed various methods to shake off Lu Pingon along the way, Lu Pingon always managed to track him down using other means. Besides the seeking spirit mouse, he also had a second-grade flying beast, the silver-winged golden falcon, as well as several types of talismans. Under these circumstances, Patriarch Sima's injuries worsened steadily. Even with the aid of secret techniques, he could no longer suppress them. Even if he managed to escape back to his family now, it was uncertain how many heavenly and earthly treasures it would take to fully heal him. More critically, his inner core developed a slight crack due to forcibly channeling mana and secret techniques after the self-detonation of his life-bound magical treasure. Boom, boom, boom. Lu Pingon pressed the attack relentlessly, periodically launching second-grade lower-quality talismans at Patriarch Sima. Although second-grade lower-quality talismans typically couldn't harm a false core master like Patriarch Sima, the situation now was anything but ordinary. Damn it. Feeling the stabbing pain emanating from his body, meridians, dantian, and false core, Patriarch Sima's face turned pale as paper, revealing an expression of urgency. He knew that if this continued, his inner core might truly rupture. Once the inner core cracks, the chaotic and violent demonic power within would erupt uncontrollably. Even if he survived, he would be crippled. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know each report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1253, Lu Daoist, you're already heavily injured. If you continue the chase, you won't gain much. Why not let this end here? As long as you spare me, I am still willing to swear an oath upon my Dao heart, Sarch * the novel fire. And a website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Patriarch Sima had abandoned his dignity, pleading for mercy, hoping that Lu Pingon would cease his pursuit. Lu Pingon paid no heed to these words. If it weren't for his aunt's instructions to create some commotion, he could have long subdued Patriarch Sima using talismans and the silver-winged golden falcon. There was no need for such a prolonged chase. This should be enough. At this moment, Lu Pingon noticed a marketplace just beyond, shrouded in spiritual light, resembling a small town, and pondered deeply. Delay breeds complications. If too much time is wasted, allowing reinforcements from the Sima family or their allies to show up, it would turn into a significant problem. Boom! Lu Pingon's figure erupted in golden light, surrounded by roaring winds and thunder. He swiftly closed in on Patriarch Sima, his gold-filled fist crashing down like the drum of a divine demon, stirring turbulent momentum. Pfft! The black-tinged figure of Patriarch Sima immediately coughed up blood and plunged from the sky. This is a false core immortal. False core combat. Quickly activate the formation. The intensity of the battle and the surge of mana caught the attention of many within Misty Rain Market, who raised their heads to observe the skies. The market's owner Yen detected the presence of two powerful auras and hurried to fully activate the Great Formation, enveloping the marketplace in its protection. She feared the battle's destruction might spill over into her territory. After all, when immortals fight, mortals suffer. If two false core cultivators were to battle within the market, the place would be half ruined and take decades to recover. I am true Pill Master Sima Tong of the Xuanwu Ridge Sima family. Fellow Taoists of the market, if you activate your formation to assist me in dealing with this crisis, the Sima family promises generous rewards afterward. Facing a life-or-death crisis, Patriarch Sima abandoned all pride and directly called out to Misty Rain Market for help. Even if the marketplace couldn't hold Lu Pingon off, it might at least give him a chance to escape. The Sima family of Xuanwu Ridge. Sima Tong, is this the false core patriarch from the Sima family? Who is this person that managed to chase the false core patriarch of the Sima family to such extremes? 80% of Misty Rain Market's population consisted of loose cultivators. While their experience varied, many had heard of the Sima family's renowned name. Chapter 1254, Misty Rain Market. Countless cultivators gazed at the sky dome, trembling inwardly as Lu Pingon departed riding a spiritual bird. Although Patriarch Sima was gravely injured, his chi was withered, and his strength was down to less than 60% of his peak. But the overwhelming and shocking false core level spiritual pressure during the brief exchange earlier was unmistakably real. Yet such a lofty false core patriarch was being hunted down so miserably, suppressed and captured. And the one who called himself a cultivator from by Lake Mountain dragged this false core immortal like a prisoner behind his spiritual bird, completely disregarding the opinions of others. What was this? Was it an act of dominance? This was simply tyrannical, wasn't it? The Sima family of Profound Marshall Ridge is an established false core family. Can By Lake Mountain really act like this without fearing their retaliation? Indeed, such behavior is outright humiliating, shamelessly blatant humiliation. If one has this level of strength, what is there to fear from the Sima family? When did By Lake Mountain produce such a formidable false core patriarch? This person doesn't seem like Lu Changsheng, the ancestor of the Lu family. Judging by his battle style, it's not that of a law cultivator but rather a body cultivator. A false core immortal, will I ever be able to touch this realm in my lifetime? Many cultivators whispered among themselves, hearts trembling with awe. Their eyes were fixed in the direction Lu Pingon had vanished, filled with reverence, fear, envy, aspiration, and other complex emotions. I heard that several months ago, in Red Leaf Valley Market under By Lake Mountain's domain, there were robbers causing havoc. The Lu family had a daughter who inherited the Lu family ancestors' talisman path legacy, who single-handedly killed 5 Foundation establishment cultivators. And now someone like this has emerged. The Misty Rain Market's prefect, Yen Lan, gazed at Lu Pingon as he departed, filled with a sense of awe. As a Foundation establishment cultivator and the prefect of a marketplace, she paid close attention to many matters of the cultivation world. I think this person resembles Lu Pingon, the eldest son of the Lu ancestor of By Lake Mountain. Beside her, Prefect Yu, dressed in a pale blue dress, charming in appearance and with an icy demeanor, spoke up. Lu Pingon. Yen Lan exclaimed in surprise, isn't Lu Pingon only at Foundation establishment mid-stage? I can't say for sure, I just feel his appearance bears some similarity. Yu Fei gently shook her head and said softly, if this person truly is Lu Pingon of By Lake Mountain, then By Lake Mountain is poised for true ascension. I recall that the Lu ancestor of By Lake Mountain is not even 100 years old yet. If this person really is Lu Pingon of By Lake Mountain, then at this age, with such cultivation, isn't core formation within reach? Yen Lan's eyes revealed a trace of envy and longing. Sar the Novel Fire. Net ** website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Both sisters had risen from being loose cultivators to their current position, surpassing 90% of other cultivators. But to advance further was akin to climbing the heavens. Seeing Lu Pingon's remarkable cultivation at such a young age, her heart was filled with emotion. Sister, the Sima family conducts itself with brutal dominance. Today, their false core patriarch sought aid from our market, but we turned him away. If they harbor resentment afterward, it could spell trouble for us. At this moment, the worry in Yu Fei's eyes became evident as she voiced her concerns. The Misty Rain Market was a decent establishment, reasonably renowned. But compared to an enormous force like the Sima family, it was insignificant. If the Sima family truly targeted them in retaliation, they wouldn't be able to withstand such fury. That possibility isn't out of the question. Yen Lan's expression grew serious as she spoke. Feier, do you have any suggestions? Their Misty Rain market's growth had been achieved not only due to the sisters' strength but also because of their strategy of forging relationships and avoiding meddling in disputes between other forces. If this person truly is Lu Pingan of Bai Lake Mountain, I think we should pay a visit to Bai Lake Mountain, Yu Fei deliberated briefly before suggesting. Once the Lu family of Bai Lake Mountain successfully ascends to the ranks of false core families, they will inevitably expand their influence. If we pledge allegiance at this time, Bai Lake Mountain will likely welcome us and value our gesture as an act of loyalty. Sister, you are currently at Foundation Establishment's 6th layer. If you were to obtain a second-order high-grade breakthrough pill, you could advance to Foundation Establishment late stage sooner. Bai Lake Mountain has top-tier alchemists who can refine Foundation Establishment elixirs, so they should be able to craft second-order high-grade breakthrough pills. Not to mention, compared to the Sima family, Bai Lake Mountain's reputation is relatively favorable right now. Recently, the Lu family's matriarch, Lu Miaoga, even extended invitations to other forces for alliances. As Yu Fei spoke, she paused, looked at her sister, and smiled. Besides, the fame of the Lu ancestor of Bai Lake Mountain is widespread, and if sister is willing, before she could finish, Yan Lan lightly slapped her younger sister and interjected, "Stop teasing your sister like that. If you have such thoughts, your sister certainly wouldn't stop you." Ending the jest, she continued earnestly, "Since that's the plan, Feier, prepare a gift and head to Bai Lake Mountain to test their stance. Sister, you must be careful." Ling Zixiao spoke further. This battle, despite the Lu family caravan avoiding casualties, had left everyone in poor condition. Thus, she planned to return to Bai Lake Mountain to recuperate, preventing any chances of the Sima family or other factions launching another ambush. Meanwhile, word of Lu Pingan's clash with the Sima family could spread and ferment during this time. "Father is coming?" Lu Pingan was slightly stunned but soon nodded, pointing at the unconscious patriarch Sima and said, "Aunt, his condition is grave. If he isn't treated, he might die outright, or become permanently crippled." Back when Patriarch Sima was cornered, he had attempted to self-destruct his core formation, seeking mutual destruction. Fortunately, at the critical moment, interference from the Thousand Faces puppet fox allowed Lu Pingan to strike a decisive blow to his Qi Ocean core. This left Patriarch Sima in a state so dire it couldn't be any worse, on the brink of collapse. "All right." Ling Zixiao summoned a Lu family disciple to examine Patriarch Sima's condition. That disciple was a doctor. After observing Patriarch Sima's state, he couldn't help but click his tongue. So this is the life force of a false core immortal. He sighed inwardly. If it were an ordinary cultivator, these injuries would have killed them countless times over. Faced with such a situation, he was utterly powerless. Seeing this, Ling Zixiao administered a few elixir medicines to Patriarch Sima to sustain his vitality. The man couldn't die now. If he did, he'd lose his value. After making basic arrangements, the caravan settled down to rest. Meanwhile, at Profound Martial Ridge, at the Sima family. How could this be? Wasn't the third elder accompanying the patriarch? How did his soul plate shatter? The Sima family head stared at the broken soul plate in the ancestral hall, his expression deeply grim. Although the Sima family had a strong foundation, losing 5 foundation establishment cultivators in one fell swoop was devastating. CTH Novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. More importantly, these 5 weren't mere ordinary foundation cultivators. Sima Bo and the other 3 each possessed foundation establishment late-stage combat strength. Even a foundation establishment peak cultivator wouldn't stand a chance against all 4 simultaneously. Third Elder Sima Tai, with his 8th layer foundation building cultivation, was among the Sima family's top-tier forces. And now, they were all dead. For the Sima family, this loss was unimaginably dire, leaving them severely damaged in vitality. Could it be that the patriarch encountered some grave danger? The Sima family head eyed Patriarch Sima's soul plate, his brows furrowing as his mind raced. The third elder had accompanied the patriarch. If their enemies hadn't been overwhelmingly strong, it would have been impossible for the third elder to die under the patriarch's nose. Investigate. Quickly send someone to check, contact the patriarch, and find out what happened to the third elder. The Sima family head dared not contemplate further and immediately dispatched personnel to contact the patriarch to uncover what had transpired. Half a day later. At the 9th heavenly gang wind layer. A rugged, burly figure tore through the wind layer silently, descending into the Julian mountain region. The figure was none other than Lu Chongqing, who had rushed over after receiving the news. Seeing Ling Zixiao and the others unharmed, with numerous cultivators focused on this area, Lu Chongqing found a secluded spot, where his face and form blurred before returning to his true appearance, unrivaled in handsomeness, akin to a banished immortal. Moments later, Lu Chongqing, clad in a green robe, slender and upright, with hands behind his back, stood atop a violet flying shuttle and approached the caravan's encampment. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know each report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1256, Father. Greetings, Father. Daddy. Paying respects to Lu ancestor. Everyone stationed at the resting point, upon seeing Lu Chongqing, immediately exclaimed joyfully and cupped their hands in salute. Lu Chongqing smiled and responded. He then turned his gaze to the dignified and elegant Ling Zixiao, asking, Zixiao, what's going on here? Although he had received a message, the distance was too far, and the sensing talisman wasn't able to convey precise details, so he didn't know the exact situation here. My lord, Ling Zixiao, her breath somewhat unsteady, softly recounted the general situation. Patriarch Sima. Hearing his wife's words, Lu Chongqing narrowed his eyes slightly and looked toward the unconscious Patriarch Sima not far off. He knew this trading journey would face many obstacles and had prepared accordingly, but he hadn't expected it to escalate to the point of a false core patriarch personally intervening. Pingan, you've worked hard. Lu Chongqing let out a light sigh, looked at his son Lu Pingan, stepped forward, and patted his shoulder as he spoke. He was well aware of his son Lu Pingan's combat prowess. Having just broken through to the 8th level of the 100 Refinements treasure body art, he could handle someone like Jin Zan, a mediocre false core cultivator, with no problem. But against a powerhouse like Patriarch Sima, a false core immortal with divine skills and magical treasures, he was no match. Rui, Shower, you've worked hard as well. Lu Chongqing then turned his gaze to his other children and said warmly. He then looked toward Zhou Datong and said, as long as you do your job well, my Lu family will never mistreat our own. Please rest assured, Lu ancestor, this humble one wouldn't dare have second thoughts. Zhou Datong replied hastily, his tone filled with reverence. He had initially been quite reluctant, but after witnessing Lu Pingan's strength and Ling Zixiao's methods, he no longer harbored any dissent. Well, handle matters as you've suggested, Zixiao. Let's return first. Without saying much more, Lu Chongqing departed with Ling Zixiao, Lu Pingan, Lu Lingxiao, and others. As for the goods, Lu Rui and Zhou Datong were tasked with transporting them to the nearest marketplace. These storage crates mostly contained supplies, each one weighing tens of thousands of pounds. Unless Lu Chongqing used nascent soul-level mana, it would be impossible to transport them all at once. However, the storage crates were marked with prohibitions, ensuring they wouldn't easily be stolen. Seeing Lu Chongqing lead Lu Pingan, Ling Zixiao, and the others away, the spies and cultivators observing the Lu family caravan also dispersed, hurrying back to report the news to their respective factions. Several days later, a piece of news spread like wildfire, shaking the entire Qingyun region. Countless family forces and cultivators were left stunned. The Sima family of Profound Martial Ridge had sent the renowned Sima Sijie to ambush the Lu family caravan, only for all of them to be slain by the Lu family. Afterward, Patriarch Sima Tong of the Sima family went to seek revenge. The Lu family's matriarch, Ling Zixiao, set up a great formation and an ambush. She and the Lu family's eldest son, Lu Pingan, forced the Sima family's patriarch to detonate his own magical treasure to escape the formation. The Novel Fire, NE*T website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. But ultimately, he was still subdued and captured by the Lu family's eldest son, Lu Pingan. This news was like a boulder thrown into a calm lake, stirring up a tempest of waves. Countless people were dumbfounded, unable to believe it, and hotly debated the matter, finding it utterly astonishing. The Sima Sijia. It said that the four brothers once slew several Foundation Establishment late-stage cultivators, even repelling Foundation Establishment peak cultivators. Though not comparable to the Immortal sex elites, they were extraordinary, yet they were completely wiped out by the Lu family. The Sima family's false core patriarch was subdued by the Lu family. This is simply unbelievable. Even with the formation and an ambush, such a feat seems impossible, doesn't it? This battle, though witnessed by few firsthand, nonetheless caused an uproar. Discussions ran rampant among small families and loose cultivator outposts. This news was simply too shocking. The world was about to witness the rise of a new false core family. At that very moment, the Lingxi Xia family, the Dayuan Mountain Yuan family, the profound Marshall Ridge Sima family, the Jinlong Ridge Jin family, and other false core families, as well as numerous Foundation Establishment families, were left in a state of disbelief upon hearing reports from their spies. Quasi-third order body refining. Third rank talismans. Talisman formation techniques. Listening to the account of the battle involving Ling Zixiao, Lu Pingan, and the Sima patriarch, they were all stunned beyond words. Although this battle could be attributed to favorable timing, advantageous terrain, and unity of purpose, the Lu family's efforts were exhaustive. Still, no matter how one looked at it, Lu Pingan's age and combat prowess left them all unsettled. Even if they weren't particularly concerned about Lu Pingan's current strength, they couldn't ignore his future potential. They often claimed their own prodigies were capable of nascent soul breakthroughs and had the potential to form a nascent soul, but in their hearts, they all knew that fewer than 1 in 10 could truly achieve it. Lu Pingan, however, demonstrated the kind of potential that truly promised nascent soul achievement. He was already on par with the true inheritors of the immortal sects. As a false core great clan, the Yuan family naturally didn't fear Blue Lake Mountain, but since the friction between the two sides was minor, he didn't want matters to escalate into a full-fledged conflict requiring large-scale combat. Wouldn't it be better to let Blue Lake Mountain and the Sima family, as well as the Jin family, fight each other to the death? Of course, the reason he was willing to lower his stature and personally visit to make amends was the Lu family's newly demonstrated true false core level strength, capable of subduing Patriarch Sima. Otherwise, how could a mere Foundation Establishment family warrant an apology from him, a distinguished false core patriarch? The patriarch is wise. Everyone in the hall applauded and cupped their hands toward their patriarch. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know each report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1257, Xuanwu Ridge, Sima Family. The Sima family received the news about their patriarch immediately. Sarch * the novel, F. Iyer. Et website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. At first, they could not believe what they had heard. How could their patriarch, a false core immortal, possibly be suppressed by a junior from the Lu family? After multiple confirmations, they immediately notified Sima Yu, another false core patriarch stationed outside. Nearby Lake Mountain, how dare they humiliate my Sima family like this? When Sima Yu arrived back at the family, he was utterly enraged. The nascent soul seed had been slain. The false core patriarch was suppressed and captured. This was an undeniably loud slap in the face. It was utterly humiliating for the Sima family of Xuanwu Ridge, turning them into a laughingstock across the Jiang country cultivation realm. From now on, whenever anyone mentioned the Sima family, they would say their false core patriarch was suppressed by a junior from Bai Lake Mountain. I will go to Bai Lake Mountain right now and see who gave them such audacity. Sima Yu's face was haggard, full of wrinkles, and his posture slightly hunched, yet he radiated a terrifying, predatory aura like a wolf king poised to devour. Though he did not have much life left, with only a few decades remaining, the accumulation of over 100 years of cultivation since forming the false core had made his divine skills, magical treasures, and combat prowess far superior to Sima Tong's. Patriarch, please quell your anger. Patriarch, stay calm. Patriarch, I have already dispatched a messenger to Qingyun's sect to notify the 13th sister. The Sima family head and several senior members scrambled to calm the fuming patriarch. Having just suffered such a disgraceful incident, the family was experiencing widespread turmoil. They could not afford another mishap. If anything were to happen to Sima Yu, if he were to meet any misfortune, it would spell the total ruin of the Sima family. Patriarch, the family needs you to remain here to preside over our affairs. Regarding the second elder's predicament, I am confident 13th sister will be able to resolve it. The Sima family head earnestly and painstakingly persuaded him. Though the family's false core patriarch had been captured, and 5 foundation establishment cultivators killed as long as Sima Yu, this false core immortal, remained present, their family would retain stability, and other forces would not dare to push too far or break ties completely. After all, if relationships were severed and open conflict broke out, even a few foundation establishment cultivators could disrupt a major faction's peace, let alone a false core immortal. Golden Dragon Ridge, Jin family. When the Jin family's senior members heard about the events between Bai Lake Mountain and the Sima family, they were utterly dumbfounded. Earlier, upon hearing of the Sima family's major movements, they had been brimming with glee. They thought the Sima family's operation would resolve the threats posed by Lu Pingan and Ling Zixiao. But unexpectedly, scouts had now reported that the Sima Sijie were dead. Even the Sima family's false core patriarch had been suppressed by Lu Pingan. What madness was this? Had it not been confirmed through multiple channels, they wouldn't have believed it. Years ago, we sent someone to probe White Tiger Mountain, but one of them was shot dead by an arrow. It must have been Lu Pingan who acted. A Jin family elder recalled an incident and spoke up. This Lu Pingan hides so deeply, no, it's more accurate to say Bai Lake Mountain hides deeply. Lu Pingan, Lu Wangshu, Lu Qingxian, each one is keeping their secrets under wraps. Family head, what should we do about this? The Jin family's senior members all had grim expressions. Their Jin family of Golden Dragon Ridge had long harbored a mortal enmity with Bai Lake Mountain. Unlike Xuanwu Ridge, which was far from Bai Lake Mountain, the Jin family not only bordered Bai Lake Mountain, but was also adjacent to White Tiger Mountain. If Lu Pingan were to remain stationed at White Tiger Mountain long-term, wouldn't Golden Dragon Ridge have to maintain perpetual high alert? If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know each report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1258, This Matter, It's Better to Seek the Advice of the Ancestor. The patriarch of the Jin family said with a bitter smile. The Jin family was already severely weakened, barely able to maintain its status and stabilize the clan situation. But now, with Lu Pingan, such a formidable force emerging in Bai Lake Mountain, the balance between the two families might soon be reversed. A quarter of an hour later, the patriarch of the Jin family, along with several elders, arrived at Golden Dragon Peak to meet Jin Zan. What? Sima Tong suppressed by Lu Pingan? How is that possible? Inside the main hall, Jin Zan immediately expressed disbelief upon hearing the patriarch's words. After all, Sima Tong had broken through to the false core level decades ago and possessed a life-bound magic treasure, his battle prowess far surpassing Jin Zan's own. Yet, such a seasoned false core immortal was suppressed by Lu Pingan, a junior from the Lu family. Sarch * the novel fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. If he didn't know that the patriarch and others wouldn't dare joke about this, he would have thought they were trying to deceive him. Why does heaven favor this Lu Changxing so much? Seeing that everyone's expressions were grave, Jin Zan looked to the sky and sighed deeply, his eyes filled with both envy and helplessness. He had also become aware of the recent events involving Lu Wangshu and Lu Qingxian. So upon hearing this news, his first reaction wasn't fear of Bai Lake Mountain's current strength. Rather, he feared Bai Lake Mountain's future potential. Feared that Bai Lake Mountain might still be holding back its true power. Because it was simply too astonishing. Lu Changxing and Lu Miaoge, a pair cultivating a dual cultivation technique. Lu Wangshu, inheriting Lu Changsheng's talisman path legacy. Lu Qingxian, who had just broken through to Foundation establishment but managed to kill 2 of their Foundation establishment clansmen. Lu Pingan, so young yet already possessing false core level combat power. And a single Lu family disciple, Lu Qingshan, now accepted into an immortal sect in Yu country. Thinking of these Lu family talents gave Jin Zan a profound sense of powerlessness. Although the Jin family did have a few promising seeds of talent, they paled in comparison to Lu Pingan, Lu Qingshan, and Lu Wangshu. Furthermore, the family's foundation had been drained while supporting him to break through to the false core level. Now, the clan didn't have the resources to cultivate new nascent soul seeds and could only barely maintain a decent number of Foundation establishment cultivators. Consolidate the family's forces further, stabilize the current situation, and observe the developments. Sima family has suffered this humiliation. They won't let it slide easily, so we'll watch their response first. Jin Zan sighed heavily, his tone filled with weariness. In his youth, he had been ambitious and radiated vitality. But ever since the previous Jin family patriarch was killed by a heretic cultivator, leaving the family's survival entirely on his shoulders, he had become cautious and prudent in all matters. Though the Wang family is declining, a skinny camel is still bigger than a horse. Years ago, I heard that the Wang family had always been seeking marriage alliances with other powers. Xiao Jiu, go contact them and gauge their attitude. After some contemplation, Jin Zan continued. 5 elements Wang family. The Jin family patriarch froze upon hearing this. He had considered this matter before as well. But the Wang family was under the jurisdiction of the Luoxia sect. Moreover, the Wang family's relationship with the beast-taming Su family was poor. If their clan tried to curry favor with the Wang family, it might provoke the Su family's displeasure. As if reading the Jin family patriarch's concerns, Jin Zan added, the Su family and the Shengguan family can also be approached. Yes, ancestor. The Jin family patriarch and others nodded heavily in response, their hearts burdened with the implications. They understood that the ancestor was preparing to surrender a portion of their interests to forge alliances and leverage external powers. By Lake Mountain. The news of Lu Pingan and Ling Zixiao suppressing the false core patriarch spread wildly across the outside world, and the Lu family disciples naturally caught wind of it. Many of them noticed their fathers welcoming their concubines and elder brothers back home, realizing that the news wasn't just a rumor, it was likely true. I thought Wang Shu was already invincible, but who would have guessed that my elder brother, a false core immortal? My elder brother suppressed a false core immortal. Doesn't that mean my elder brother has achieved false core immortal status? Our family has become a false core level clan. Many Lu family disciples were thrilled and ecstatic. Meanwhile, cultivators and representatives from many family forces arrived at Bai Lake Mountain to verify the authenticity of the rumors. It is true. Lu Changxing, Lu Pingan, and Ling Zixiao did not appear in public. Lu Xingyang and Lu Miaoge confirmed the matter directly. During the exchanges, Lu Miaoge revealed shocking news to families with good relations with hers. Her husband, Lu Changxing, had advanced to 3rd-rank Talisman Master. 3rd-rank Talisman Master. Hiss. 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 Upon hearing this bombshell, these people were visibly shocked and audibly gasped in amazement. A third-rank talisman master might not have the status of a nascent soul immortal, but it was equivalent to a false core immortal. Especially Lu Changsheng, the talisman master, who also mastered Talisman Path Legacy. Chapter 1259. Of course, aside from this method, one could also go to certain organizations or forces to undergo evaluations, thereby indirectly gaining fame. Lu Changsheng naturally chose the simplest method, taking out a few talismans to sell and auction. Though such things might be falsified, few people would be willing to use third-rank talismans for deception or name-building. Moreover, such falsehoods would inevitably lead to suspicion over time. Lu Mountain Lord is truly magnanimous. Lady Lu, rest assured, upon returning, I will certainly promote your esteemed family well. Lady Lu, might I ask what kind of heavenly and earthly treasures your esteemed family currently requires? The cultivators present, upon hearing these words, all spoke with excitement and enthusiasm. In Lu Changsheng's eyes, third-rank talismans were no longer anything special. But to these cultivators, they were incomparably rare. Having a third-rank talisman was essentially equivalent to possessing a life-saving artifact. In times of danger, merely unveiling a third-rank talisman would be enough to deter most Foundation establishment cultivators. Materials for the Foundation establishment elixir are the same as before. Lu Miaoge replied with a graceful smile, exuding an elegant demeanor. Sir, the novel fire. Enter website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Gradually, cultivators began arriving at Bai Lake Mountain to visit. Apart from offering congratulations and probing for information, many families also came seeking cooperation, with some even proactively pledging allegiance to the Lu family. The cultivation world is unpredictable and ever-changing. One might unexpectedly encounter trouble or cross paths with heretic cultivators or robber cultivators. Though these families were under the jurisdiction of the Qingyun sect, the Qingyun sect rarely intervened in family affairs under their rule. It was only upon encountering heretics or demon cultivators that they would send someone to investigate and resolve the matter. If two families were at odds or clashing, as long as the situation did not escalate excessively or cause too much of a commotion, the Qingyun sect typically turned a blind eye. In the event of requesting the Qingyun sect to intervene and uphold justice, both participating families would have to pay a heavy price. Thus, these family forces preferred to seek out their own protectors. However, the families seeking Bai Lake Mountain's protection were not fools either. Most were in unfavorable circumstances, hoping to leverage Bai Lake Mountain's reputation to overcome their crises. Alternatively, they foresaw that Bai Lake Mountain, as a false core family, would undoubtedly expand its influence, and by pledging allegiance now, they might gain benefits from the Lu family, possibly earn a share of the profit. The beast-taming Su family had a mysterious turtle spirit beast, the Sima family had one, and he recalled the spirit-taming sect seemed to have one as well. This brought Lu Changsheng's thoughts back to his own cold blue dark turtle. Yet, the growth of such turtle-based spiritual beasts was exceedingly slow. 40 years had passed, and this cold blue dark turtle had just advanced to the middle stage of the first grade. Even Lu Changsheng couldn't help but feel speechless. Lu Wangshu was equally unimpressed with its growth speed. After all, this cold blue dark turtle wasn't raised in the wild. It was well fed and cared for, often placed inside ancient beast-taming charms for accelerated cultivation. Should I perhaps? Lu Changsheng stared at Patriarch Sima before him, his thoughts stirring. Considering that once Sima Tong was ransomed back, he could find an opportunity to deal with the Sima family's other false core cultivator, Sima Yu. This way, the Sima family would be reduced to a level similar to the Jin family, posing much less of a threat. After all, Patriarch Sima Tong's self-destruction of his life-bound magic treasure damaged his foundation, and his combat strength would likely be inferior to Jin Zan, who was a mere blank slate false core. Master. At that moment, the voice of Mount Sumru echoed in Lu Changsheng's mind, informing him of an anomaly in Bai Ling's cocoon of light. All right. Upon hearing this, Lu Changxing immediately ensured Patriarch Sima Tong remained unconscious and departed with Bing towards the Changxing Hall. Inside the cave mansion, upon the bed. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know your report so we can fix it as soon as possible. You're tuning in to the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.